supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rent do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh, now they know us. See, it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the jets. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Ayy, winning like I ought to. I ain't wanna do it, but I got to. Smoking what my doctor told me not to. Got these wishing they was hot too. Ballin' like I need to. Got my exes wishing for a redo. Smell the marijuana when I speed through. Hit her with the tip, that's a preview. Hold up, wait up, get your weight up. Shit, get your money, not your hate up. Boy, draw a play up. I flip my wrist, a layup. She wanna lay up. I gotta get it, I'ma stay up. I'm all the way up. I got my pay up. I ain't playing with you. I'm a coach now. Commentating, do the most now. I be somewhere booted with my toes down. Made little baby tooted with her nose down. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live.
Showtime!
I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed.
Ball at like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Maybe put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like Kima. Ain't give a F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on the brand new Beamer. Tryna earn 8 stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a Keto. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reef. Dímelo porque yo no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood. I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Y'all just talk, don't live it. And just took that route, that seen it. And I'm so outspoken like Reason. Jimmy Neutron, boy, Young G's. And I'm a self-made man.
I actually interviewed Darius Cooks on my radio show. I've been 5 or 6 years ago before he blew up on social media. And just as was just articulated, he actually went on Periscope Live during the radio show and did his own show in the studio during the show that he was supposed to be on. But he's a narcissistic individual. And because of that, he's had many of these run-ins. I think there was a scandal a few years ago where he was doing fake credit repair for people and got sued. His restaurant got closed down, those sorts of things. So he maintains these online scams, preying on the hearts and minds of his followers. And even just it was just articulated after our show, because we tend to ridicule people when they act up on our show. He actually went on Periscope Live to talk about me and our producer and some of the other guests after the show. So this has been going on for a long period of time. Now, legally, when somebody talks about you online, that's just talk. But once they get into the place of making threats, either violence, threatening to release personal information, well, that's where you can actually file a criminal report against this individual. And if they do release improper or censored information, personal information that is privileged, that absolutely you can report that to the Georgia Bureau of Investigations or to the Federal Bureau of Investigations for them to look into it, particularly if you have multiple individuals who are involved in this.
Amateur at work, amateur at work. What's up, good people? I was muted. That's why I like to do the check-in with you guys. But let me know that you can hear me in the chat by typing "Stop Screaming VellNito" or "VellNito Forever" to let me know that you can now hear me, because I was having a conversation with VellNito after Tuesday night's live, and he blew out his voice. And I told him, I said, VellNito, this work that we do isn't as easy as it looks on the other side of the camera. And he was like, he realized that. And so he needed to take, a little rest on his voice. So he will be back today. I'm telling him, I'm already introducing you. I mean, you'll come out later. Don't rest your voice for now. So he's resting up right now, resting his voice. He's been drinking tea and, with honey and lemon and all of that. And so he is trying to get his voice together, and he will be back towards the end of this live stream to do his Darius Crooks segment. But with that, I want to give a shout out to all of my moderators on the front and back end. We got Trikeisha, Precious G, we got Alice Blessed Child of Good, Marianne Coker, and I hope I'm not missing anyone else. But thank all of my moderators for your hard work. Greatly appreciate you. Makes my job a lot easier on this end, finagling with everything. And so I've been trying to do shorten the monologues, the intros for you guys, and everything that I normally am telling you. But what I'm starting to realize as I rewatch the live streams and I'm reading the comments, because that's one of the main reasons I rewatch, is I'm noticing that we're getting comments because in the countdown I now have all of kind of the housekeeping stuff, the places you can reach us at, how you can reach me, including we have one central place now where you can go to my Linktree link, which is now in the chat. And that link will take you to all of my social medias, the Patreons, everything that I am on social media, where you can connect with us outside of these videos. It's all there in that link. But I noticed this. I'm going to share the screen with you real quick. I noticed this message. I don't think I noticed it on the screen when it was displayed, but this message here from Nay, and she said, didn't you post a text number for notification of fans? I've never gotten anything from you on that level. So I wanted to confirm, because we do have an active text community, which I'm going to put going across the bottom of the screen. That it? We can take that one down. It's scrolling across the bottom of your screen now, and that's where I send updates of when we're going live, other little tidbits here or there about me, the channel, or whatever, what we're doing. And so put it in the chat if you're part of the VIP text community. And I'm seeing a bunch of people saying, yes, I got it. Yes, I got one today, because I send them. They come out not every day, but when we're going live and things like that, or I have a special announcement. So if you're not getting them and you think you signed up, I would suggest that you sign up by texting that number that is scrolling across the bottom of your screen, because there's probably something going on your end, or maybe you unsubscribed by mistake or something. But the text community is very active, and yeah, we're still doing that. And the other message that we got was that I saw in the chat was this one, and it's from D Baby, and this was in the live chat. And D Baby said there needs to be a raw channel. So I think that was in regards to me talking about a place where I'm more unfiltered, etc. We could just keep it real, kitchen table talk, all that good stuff. D Baby must not be aware that we have a Patreon, and that's what we do on Patreon. It's raw, unfiltered conversation, content. I share a lot about what's happening behind the scenes as a social media influencer, even some personal things here or there. So if you are interested in an unfiltered, raw channel, so to speak, we have that as well. So I just wanted to point those sort of things out, because I don't want people to be missing out on things that they're interested in, and we have them. So even the Patreon, again, that link that is in the chat, and if the moderators can occasionally repost the link, that would be great. Also, all of that information, the link is always in the description area under my videos, and usually the first pinned comment when I remember to do it. Also, last housekeeping thing is the filtered comments is on this channel, on all my channels, all my platforms actually. And so what that means is certain words will not appear when you comment them. And so if you're commenting anything and you're not seeing it on the screen, most likely it's no one blocking it. It's the filters. You're using words that aren't PG rated, so to speak, or you're not misspelling in a way that doesn't make bad words look like bad words. So If that happens, reword your sentence, etc. We don't block over here. We will time you out if you get a little get too rough in them comment sections. But we have the truth over here, and so I'm very big on making sure we're not blocking people from getting to the truth. Okay, so as far as topics tonight, it's a lot. Again, I did it again. But what I have decided to do is that for now, what it looks like is that we're going to go live 2 nights a week now. We'll do Tuesdays and Thursdays. That could change at any point, but as of today, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And they're going to be longer lives. So we've been going like 2.5, 3 hours. It is what it is. But how that helps me is that these videos, it's almost like you're helping me create my videos for the week, so to speak, because what I'll do is clip these segments down into separate videos, like highlight videos, and then they'll replay for those people who can't sit through 3 hours or do not care to sit through 3 hours. They can then watch the individual videos on just these separate topics. So just so you know, we're going to do Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they will typically be longer lives and that's the reason why. And my intros, because I get comments here that like, your intro's too long. Well, what I got to tell you is that there's a production that's happening behind the scenes over here. And so that countdown gives me time to get everything set up. Hopefully remember that my mic is muted, things like that. And so that is the reason why we have a countdown in the beginning. But I do put timestamps on these videos now. So you can, after this video is over, I go through it and I put the timestamps. And so you can always just fast forward to the areas you want, skip over the countdown. And if you're watching live, come in 5 minutes late because there's always going to be that 5-minute countdown. I need that to get situated. This is a production. It's like when you're doing a show or a concert or whatever. Yeah, what concert you been to that they start right on time? They always got you waiting a good 15 minutes or so. So, but that's what that is. So tonight's topic lineups is. And the thumbnail I need to update because there was some stuff just happening through the day. Alice, Blessed Child of God, was updating me. And I saw some stuff on social media. So the topics kind of changed since I created that thumbnail. One of the things was we're going to talk about Jerry Springer, who unfortunately passed away today at the age of 79. And then Harry Belafonte, the same thing. He passed away at 96 years old. And then we have a couple other legends who passed away. And, some are legends for the wrong reason, but we'll talk about that as well. We're going to do a quick update. Well, actually, the story is kind of involved, but an update on the Rasheem Carter case. That is the young man who was tragically taken in Mississippi, in Taylorsville, Mississippi, and remains were just found, and his family got his body in basically a legal size box. Not even his body, the bones, in a legal size box. Oh, okay. And then also Red Table Talk was canceled, so we'll talk about that. And then San Francisco, did I keep that story? Wait a minute. I think I got rid of this story. Hold on. I did. We'll talk about that story later. And then we have a viral story of a thief who seemed to have had a heart or a change of heart. And then after that, we will get into, I'll turn it over to VellNito, and he'll, give you what he has. He just has some updates on, the weekly drama of that Scampire over there with Darius Crooks. So, for those of you who aren't interested in that, that's why that's at the end of the show. And then, we'll clip that down into shorter videos as well. But anyway, speaking of our topics, we have Jerry Springer, who was a former Cincinnati news anchor and mayor and host of the Jerry Springer Show, which we all, most of us know about. It was legendary during that period of time, and said that he died this morning, Thursday, April 27th, at his home in the Chicago suburbs I don't know which suburb he lived in. If you know which suburb that Jerry Springer lived in, let us know in the chat. And they said that he died from pancreatic cancer. His lifelong friend, Gene Galvin, and a spokesperson for the family, said he's irreplaceable and his loss hurts immensely, but the memories of his intellect, heart, and humor will live on. And he was a broadcaster, journalist, an actor, producer. He was a lawyer. He was a politician. He was born in London, England, and he was born during World War II to refugees escaping from the Holocaust. And he was raised in Queens, New York. And he started the Jerry Springer Show started in 1991. And in 1998, its popularity actually exceeded and beat the Oprah Winfrey Show, which I was like, maybe I forgot about that. It said, but it beat the Oprah Winfrey Show in the ratings, drawing 12 million viewers. And my first thought was like, that's because people really love mess more than they love enlightenment. And so I've learned that, especially in this journey, being on YouTube, the enlightenment community does not quite get as much clout as the mess. But it says that Jerry Springer became a political campaign advisor for Robert F. Kennedy after Kennedy's assassination, and he joined the Cincinnati law firm of Frost and Jacobs, and he was elected to the Cincinnati City Council in 1971. But he then resigned 3 years later after admitting that he had hired a prostitute. And I do remember hearing one joke that he would say is, "I wonder if hookers in heaven take checks." So kind of making light of the situation. I think this was years later, of course. But they said, however, he managed to win back his seat in 1975. And in 1977, when he ran again, Springer received more votes than any other candidate for council, which meant under the law, he was then elected mayor. And he ended up going into being a reporter, a commentator on an NBC affiliate. And after that, it kind of led into the Jerry Springer Show. And he actually remained a commentator on the local news for like 16 months after he started the Jerry Springer Show. And they said that he also appeared as himself in a number of movies and TV shows. He also hosted America's Got Talent for 2 seasons. He appeared twice on Broadway. He had a podcast, and he recently hosted, had a courtroom show called Judge Jerry. I never watched an episode of that, but I would assume it'd probably be fairly entertaining if you're into that kind of stuff. But I never watched it. I don't know if it was still on air or not. Just dropping in now. Wasn't he also the mayor? Yeah, I just, that was the part I just went over, that he was the mayor of Cincinnati. According to sources, Springer was found deceased this morning after a secret battle with cancer. So I don't know, because this part is alleged. I didn't see this anywhere else except for like on a blog that they said he was found deceased. So I'm like, was he dealing with this and living alone? So there, I guess there's a possibility of that. We'll know. But they said at a commencement speech address at his alma mater, the Northwestern University School of Law, in May of 2008, Springer declared that I am not superior to people, to the people on my show, and you are not superior to the people you will represent. That is not an insult. It is merely an understanding derived from a life spent on the front lines of human interaction. And I just say there's no doubt that he lived his best life. he lived his life to its fullest. Like, he had a very rich life. Look, it's almost like he had a bunch of lives within. I mean, everything from being a news reporter, I mean, starting out as a, you know, an attorney, politician, then, you know, talk show host and Broadway. Like, I mean, he had a very, very rich life. He was born February 13th of 1944, and again passed away this morning. And may his legacy live on forever. Another fun fact that I have about Jerry, though, because it's like a couple degrees of separation. The Jerry Springer Show, for those of you who don't know, was taped in Chicago and downtown Chicago. And Norman from the former Wendy Williams show, the guy who would sit out there in the front talking to Wendy, and now he's on the Sherry Shepherd Show as an executive producer. He's out having his segments here or there, but he's mainly in the booth with the other producers. But that's my cousin, and Norman, that was Norman's first internship, was at the Jerry Springer Show. So that was literally his first, really, yeah, I think it was his first job ever as well. And so it kind of was the foundation of his career that then led him to, I'll do a little bio on him one day, but Anana Lewis, and it was some, what was it, MTV, Best Week Ever. He worked there a long time. And then I think from there was Wendy, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Norman from the Sherry Show or Wendy Williams Show started out with Jerry Springer as an intern. So yeah, and of course we got, you know, me and my cousins, we got a lot of funny behind the scenes stories on that of what was going on with those guests, because they were some interesting people, as many of us saw on TV. So I'll do a few comments, then we'll go to the next story. Because remember, we're also taping this to be a separate video. So Miss Tam says, I love your introduction. It's the bomb. Thank you so much, friend. I appreciate that. Act like you're coming to work and come in 5 minutes late. Right. Please, I wish if y'all only knew, I literally have been working for what we're doing right now. I've been working on this since really 6:30 this morning. And then I took a brief hour nap, and then I just got right back to it. So I've literally been working on our content all day. Let me take this off. I don't like that scrolling the whole time. So yeah, brother be working over here. This is real work, y'all. This is real work. Let's see. I'm trying to just find stuff related to Jerry. Dang, Jerry had talents that I knew nothing about. Yeah, I will do a deep dive video on him as well, because I literally had to just stop. That was part of what took me so long, because having not only Jerry Springer pass away, but then also Harry Belafonte, like, I'm researching to get the information of their bios to kind of give a summary, but it was so vast that it was like, okay, I just got to stop putting stuff in here at this point, because it's a whole little documentary at a point. Yeah, may he rap. Rest in peace. Jerry rode this life until the wheels fell off. That's inspiring. Absolutely. I totally agree. That's how we're supposed to live. The last one, they'd be fighting, and Jerry would be standing there all calm and giggling. Yeah, and and he always would step back. He'd get further and further. Like, the more dramatic the fight was getting, the further back he would run to the audience. Because I think in the beginning he would kind of just run to the side of the stage, but then he ended up going. He would go to the back of the audience. Funny. Gotta love it. Rest in peace, Jerry Springer, and thanks for all those memories. Okay, so then our next story is, it's a little Harry Belafonte, who is a legend in his own right. And here we go. I'm like, where's this picture? Well, this is an older, well, let me give you a more recent picture. This is a more recent picture with him being, how we last seen him. He was a legendary actor, singer, activist who passed away on April 25th at the age of 96. And my disclaimer about him, pretty much like Jerry Springer, is that it was just too rich and long of a history for me to cover properly in this sort of setting. So I'm doing a broad overview. If there's anything that you all know about him that you want to add to the comments, feel free to do that. And then I'm going to be doing a deep dive video on him as a part of my future series that I've kind of mentioned a few times, but I haven't put out any episodes yet. I have a series coming called The Making of, and that is a series that will be biographies of influential people, inspiring people, all of that, public figures. And then I have another series that's going to be called, it's either going to be the Infamous series or Behind the Veil, which was a new one I just came up with, because as in veil, behind the veil, like, so I don't know. It may have that title, but that's going to be the more grittier exposés on infamous figures with, criminal kind of past, or just, scandals and things of that nature. Like a Darius Crooks would be in that segment, the Behind the Veil, the Infamous series. So, like I said, feel free to add any additional facts that you know in the chat, because I'll be sure to add it in my future research for that particular making of video. But the information I was able to gather says that Mr. Harry Belafonte died on Tuesday at his home on the Upper West Side of Manhattan from congestive heart failure, said his longtime spokesman. He was 96 years old. He was born as his birth name is Harold George Belafonte Jr. And he was born on March 1st of 1927 in Harlem to West Indian immigrants. His father was born in Martinique, and his father later changed the family name and worked occasionally as a chef and merchant and on merchant ships, and was often away. His mother, Melvine Love Belafonte, was born in Jamaica and was a domestic. So for those of you who don't know, housekeeper, basically. In 1936, Harry and his mother and his younger brother, Dennis, moved to Jamaica because she was unable to find work there. So, and when his mother moved to Jamaica, she was unable to find work there. So his mother soon returned to New York, leaving him and his brother to be looked after by relatives who he later recalled were either unemployed or above the law. I like that term for when somebody, instead of calling them criminals or thugs or whatever, just say they're above the law. I like that. They rejoined his mother in 1940 back in Harlem, and they said that Harry was almost single-handedly ignited a craze for Caribbean music with hit records like Deo, the Banana Boat song, and Jamaica Farewell. I don't know if I know Jamaica Farewell. I probably got to hear it. And it says, coming just before the break of Elvis Presley, who stole everybody's stuff. It says, it was said to be the first album by a single artist to sell more than 1 million copies. I don't know why I do know why. I was going to say, I don't know why this stuff doesn't get the kind of recognition and attention. That's huge if he was the first person to ever, artist to ever sell 1 million records. That should be something that's still, as big as what Elvis is, the way people talk about Elvis. But anyway, it says, it was said that he smashed racial barriers in the 1950s with his highly personable brand of folk music, and he went on to become a dynamic force in the civil rights movement at a time where segregation was still widespread and Black faces were still a rarity on the screens, large and small, so on TV and movies. And it says Belafonte's ascent to the upper echelon of show business was historic at that time. He was not the first Black entertainer to transcend racial boundaries. Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, and others had achieved stardom before him, but none had made as much of a splash as he did. And for a while, no one in music, black or white, was bigger than him. It says that as a successful singer, it led him to movie offers. He soon became the first black actor to achieve major success in Hollywood as a leading man. His movie stardom was short-lived, though it was his friendly rival with Sidney Poitier. He became the first bona fide, Sidney Poitier became the first bona fide black male idol, so to speak. So it says but making movies was never Belafonte's priority. And after a while, neither was making music. He continued to perform into the 21st century and to appear in movies as well, although he had 2 long hiatuses from the screen. But his primary focus from the late 50s onward was civil rights. And it says in his early career, he actually befriended Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and became not just a lifelong friend, but also ardent supporter of Dr. King in his quest for racial equality. And he personified, he put up much of the seed money to help start the Student Nonviolence Coordination Committee, and was one of the principal fundraisers for the Dr. King Southern Christian Leadership Conference. And then the last piece, it says that he also went on to bail Dr. Martin Luther King out of jail during the Civil Rights March on Washington in 1963, and ended up housing his family. And ended up housing Dr. King when he needed to just kind of get away and escape. I'm going to be doing a bio on him as well, but my bio is going to be very honest. I'm hoping that y'all don't be throwing too many tomatoes, because yes, he is a huge influential figure, but he was also a human. And so I want to tell the complete story about Martin Luther King Jr. He's not a deity. He is not a god, but he was a man that did great things on this earth. But he was a man nonetheless. And I'm going to tell the story about the man. But it said that after Martin Luther King was assassinated, Belafonte took care of King's family financially. However, in 2013, he sued the King family 3 surviving children in a dispute over documents that Belafonte said were his property, and the children said belonged to the King estate. The suit was settled the year after with Belafonte retaining possession of those documents. I don't know the details of that. That would be something I would check out for the deep dive video. But that's interesting. I was just, as I read that, I'm like, oh, like he obviously took care of them, maybe became like an uncle or father figure after the unfortunate passing of Dr. King. But for them to fall out, like when they become adults over whatever possession that was, some documents, it says that, I'm saying that I hope that they personally resolved that, before his passing, because obviously he loved them dearly if he took care of them and all of that. So may this legend rest in peace. Harry Belafonte. We've lost another great. It's like as we get older, a lot of people we just grew up with, they're going on to the next realm. Okay, let's see what we're talking about with Belafonte. Key Got Joke says, I met Mr. Belafonte at my old job a few years ago. He was still handsome and welcome, rest in peace. So that's good. It always seemed like he had a really good spirit. It didn't seem put on. It just seemed like he really had a nice spirit, but I never met him, but it just seemed like that. Oso says Belafonte legit made $1 out of 15 cents. Right. My favorite, being Marilyn Gale says, my favorite movie was Harry Belafonte, Carmen was Carmen Jones. I never, you know what? I don't know if I've ever seen an entire movie. I've seen like clips and bits and pieces, but I don't think I've ever watched an entire movie of any of the greats, really. I don't even think I've ever watched Gone with the Wind. It was the first, you know, Academy Award won by a black lady, but it was for being a maid. So there's that. But I still never, I don't think I've ever seen the entire movie like any of the classics. It says, 96 years was a long time to get it right. And Harry Belafonte got it right. May his legacy be remembered. Amen. Full show. Ooh, I would love to hear the details of that. Yeah, I'm gonna put something together. As y'all see, I didn't want to like keep reading, but it was so I literally summarized, and that was a lot that I just gave y'all, but I summarized kinda like 40% of what I was saying, and not even that, probably 30%. I was like, oh, I gotta dig with this one. Because I love researching, but I love history, but I love bios. I love hearing people's stories of overcoming and living their best life and achieving and all that. I don't know. I get so worked up and excited for that. I love seeing people win at life and living your purpose, like finding what your purpose is and actually striving for it and achieving it. I love it. I love it. So that's why I like sharing those stories with y'all. Marilyn Gale says, Vel, I'll DM you some information about MLK. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. And last one, Tiona is saying rest in peace to the legendary Harry Belafonte. Yes. And so, yeah. And then we have another soul that has gone into another realm. And give me a second because my stuff is just a little mixed up. So we have the white woman who was accused of causing the M of Emmitt Till. She died at the age of 88 from cancer. She accused then 14-year-old Emmitt Till of making lewd comments about her before he was brutally beaten and unalived in Mississippi in 1955. I'm even going over this piece because I have been amazed to see how many people don't know the story still. And not even just even younger people all the time. Younger people seem to not know it at all, which is beyond me because I grew up literally with the Jet magazine picture burned in my head. It almost felt like back in the day, at least, it seemed like almost every Black History Month that was republished somewhere. And so and as a kid, that was traumatizing, but eye-opening and I needed to know those things, that level of hate for my existence and other people who look like me existed. So this story has always been just near and dear to me. So her name is Carolyn Bryant Donham. She was 88. She was diagnosed with cancer and received hospice care in Louisiana. The coroner's office confirmed her death to Mississippi today, Thursday, April 27th. For those of you who are watching later, I want you to be like, today, like 3 years from now, like today? No, of 2023, the date as of the date of this recording. So yes, Thursday, April 27th, just 10 days after her birthday. Says, no, I'm sorry. That was my note. So what I was saying, my thought that I was like, let me write this down. I was just saying that, she passed away on April 27th. It's actually 10 days after my birthday. So for me, I guess it's like a belated birthday gift of some sort. So happy birthday to me. But anyway, Emmitt Till was, for those who don't know the story, Emmitt Till was kidnapped and unfortunately tortured, beaten, and shot before his body was tied to a fan blade, like a huge fan. And they threw him in the river and they tied him to the fan, like commercial size fan, to keep him weighed down, to keep his body in the water so nobody would find it. But he ended up floating back up. So his body was found. And that was nearly 70 years ago. It says the men who took his life were acquitted by an all-white jury and then admitted their crimes in a magazine interview a few months later. Both men have also since, gone to that special place below us. It says last year, a grand jury in Mississippi, Leflore County, declined to indict Miss Dotem, who was 21 years old at the time, when she testified in court that Till made unwanted advances at her because she lied. She lied, and she caused this young man to his life to completely be taken. If you haven't seen the movie's pretty good. Actually, there's just been because it was like on Hulu. There was a couple series that came out about it, and then the movie. I didn't see the movie. I only saw the series. I haven't seen the movie yet. But anyway, if you're not aware of this story, I definitely advise you to check it out. And also in the chat, if you have any departing words for Miss Carolyn, please feel free to put them in the chat now. And I'll read them when I watch the replay later tonight as I'm doing the timestamps for this. Let's see. I see a couple of super chats. If I'm missing the super chats, I'll call them out towards when I get breaks. Kadida. I feel like my reading is off. So Renee, thank you so much for the super chat. Rest in power, Jerry and Hillary Belafonte. Wow, Norman is your cousin. How cool. Yes, he is a very cool dude. Norman is cool. Very cool. What you see is what you get. He's authentic like me. It comes from our daddy's side of the family. All of them are like that. Keys got jokes. Next topic. With all due respect to you, nobody cares about this old biddy. I mean, I agree, but I just wanted to share the information so that we everyone is aware. Oh my God, not that heifer. She wrote a playbook for today's Karen. Tell us about it. They still calling the police with them same false allegations. Yes, and crying and oh my God, I felt my life was in danger. He was so big and black. YMV, I wonder if a pitchfork is waiting for her. I hope so. Kodak Black Voice. Right. Okay, so then that takes us, because we're 47 minutes in. I guess we're doing yeah, I need to speed it up a little bit. But these other stories are a little shorter. Then we have the story of, that's not true. This one next story is gonna be long. We have the story of Toni Braxton. We have an update on her. I didn't separate her picture out, but Toni Braxton, for those of you who don't know, and if you don't know, I don't know, you've been on a rock or something. But if you don't know, Toni Braxton is the lady smack dab in the middle of these other 4 beautiful women. She was recently gave a statement. She recently revealed that doctors found an 80% blockage in her main artery, which could have led to a fatal heart attack. Toni Braxton told TMZ that she can't tour or sing like she wants at the moment, but she's slowly getting reacquainted with the studio and promised that she'll be back in full strength for her shows really soon. So it's been said that for a little over a year, it's been a little over a year since her sister Tracy passed away from cancer, and Toni told TMZ that she took the loss so hard that she let her own medical checkup slip. She urged her fans to pay attention when their body is talking and stay up to date with your doctor's visits. So her sister Tracy is the one on the bottom right of the photo. And I actually did a tribute video to Tracy because I was a huge fan of their reality show, Braxton Family Values. And so I literally remember that last season, because they kind of just ended abruptly. But I remember that last season, Tracy talking to her father and saying she was, dealing with her own. I mean, she was already into it with her sisters, But then on top of that, she said she was dealing with her own medical issues, etc. And I don't know, it felt like it was bigger to me for some reason when she said that. And then it was a little over a year or so later, she ended up being, there were some pictures of her that went viral on social media. Her son was getting married. I hate I didn't pull all this in, but her son was getting married, and she was in the photo, like a family photo, and she looked very frail. She had like a clear bandage on her arm. She had a medical mask on. It was, I think it was during the pandemic or right after the pandemic. Well, it was right after the pandemic, so people weren't wearing masks quite as much. And so people were speculating that she was very ill, etc. And come to find out just a few months later or whatever, that was the case, that she was actually, she had cancer. And she became open about it like in the last couple months of it. But if you're interested in seeing my video on it, my style of doing videos was totally different back then because it's a little older, because we move quick over here. We grow quick. But if you want to see it, that's the link in the chat to that video. So you can check it out after this live. If you're going to be up a while, you're working overnight, you need somebody else to do. So it also goes on to say that she's 55 years old, and she was diagnosed with lupus back in 2008. And back in September, she underwent a procedure after the 80% main artery block in her heart. For those who are unaware, lupus is an autoimmune disease which the body's immune system mistakes healthy tissues for foreign invaders and attacks them rather than targeting the bad bacteria and viruses. It causes inflammation that can cause joint, skin, kidney, blood cells, brain, heart, and lungs. Inflammation that can affect, joint, skin, kidneys, blood cells, brain, heart, and lungs. And yeah, she also admitted during the interview that she has been hospitalized for the disease many times. She didn't stay on top of her routine urine and blood tests to assess how her lupus is affecting her organs. And she is quoted as saying, "I kept putting it off thinking, oh, I'm fine, I'll be okay. But my doctor was persistent, and I went to get tested in the last week of September. I did a specialized test, and they took a look at my heart and saw some abnormalities." She says, "I found out that I needed a coronary stent. My left main coronary artery was 80% blocked. The doctors told me I could have had a massive heart attack and would not have survived." Wow. So yes, I am unique. I was actually just thinking about Tracy too. I don't know if, I was thinking about Tracy Braxton, and then I saw, I think one of the sisters comment or something, and it was like, oh wait, this is around the anniversary of her passing. But yeah, thank God that this was caught in time, because we would have lost Toni Braxton as well. So we're wishing her speedy recovery, and thank God that they caught that in time. We can't be losing no more greats now. I can't take it. Can't take it. Let's see. I'm gonna jump to a couple comments, and then we're gonna move to the next story. If anyone's commenting on this, I'm not gonna go back on past topics just for the sake of time. Okay. So the next story is very similar to this situation with what we just talked about with Emmitt Till. It's kind of like the modern day Emmitt Till story, unfortunately. And give me a second. I want to actually pull this in, because I was a little delayed with some of the stuff I wanted to pull in. If the computer don't freeze up completely. Computer ain't having it today. I don't know what's happening. Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, nah, I'm gonna stop. Okay, never mind. What ain't get pulled in just ain't get pulled in, because my computer's like dragging. So I do not want this live to get cut off. So forgive me, because I forgot to pull in Well, no, I was right. I didn't forget. I was just rushing and didn't have enough time to pull in Rasheem's picture. For those who like, why you got that 5 minute? You take your openings too long, because I need time to do the stuff that ain't get done. Anyway, VellNito, get out of my ear. You got me talking crazy to the people. So Rasheem Carter, I can do it this way though, right? Yes, I can do it this way. I'm gonna shoot the screen share real quick. For those of you who don't know, because everybody who watching ain't watching every video. So Rasheem Carter, this young man that you see here, unfortunately had his life taken in Taylorsville, Mississippi. And just a quick overview for those of you who have not seen, I should have grabbed that link too. I did a couple videos on his story as well. And I have another deep dive video coming, like an update of what the family has been dealing with this situation, because it's atrocious. But long story short, he was working in Taylorsville at the Georgia Pacific plant. He was subcontracted out to do, I think, mill work there. And something was going on. And for whatever reason, the boss didn't like him, etc. And so his car had broken down. And so he was commuting back and forth with a roommate who they were staying at a local hotel like 20 miles away, I think it was. And so the roommate, for some reason, they got into it. The roommate was like, I'll take you to work, but I'm not bringing you back with me. And so the roommate left him stranded in this town, this Taylorsville, Mississippi. Rasheem was trying to get home. He walked into town and he was, trying to pay people to drive him, to his hotel. There was no Ubering service there. He even asked the police to help him out, et cetera, et cetera. Long story short, he ended up calling his mom for help because he couldn't get nobody to take him. His mom lived 1,300 miles away and no family or friends lived anywhere near there either. His mom was able to secure him a ride with a friend who lived a little closer, but it took the friend until the next day to be able to get there. Rasheem ended up kind of wandering around overnight, nowhere to go. The police wouldn't even let him stay at the police station. He ends up texting he talked to his mom a couple times. And after his last official conversation with her, he texted her that if something happens to me, that my boss did it, basically. This guy did it. And I'm putting this picture up because this guy's now been on the news trying to plead his innocence and saying he has nothing to do with it. But Rasheem literally, I didn't put his name down, I don't think. It's Stephen Carter or something. Stephen somebody. Again, I'm doing a deep dive video, so I'll have it in there. It might come up. I might find it while I'm playing something for y'all. But this guy is who Rasheem said, if something happens to me, he's responsible because he has these dudes after me. He said it was pickup trucks full of white men after him. So long story short, when the friend does arrive the next afternoon, so this was on a Saturday, the friend arrives the next afternoon. They're unable to locate him. He's never seen or heard from again. Family goes there after the police, a couple days, police saying they ain't found him. Family goes down there and does their own search party. They don't find him either. About a month later, police call to say, we found remains on this property, private property, mind you. And it was identified as Rasheem. His body was scattered. And this is the most recent notice from Ben Crump's office, Attorney Ben Crump. It says Mississippi officials find more remains of Black man who was lynched. In Jackson, Mississippi, it says nationally renowned civil rights and personal injury attorney Ben Crump and the family of Rasheem Carter released a statement in response to the Mississippi Crime Lab officials notifying the family that a third set of remains found on February 23rd contained a DNA match to Rasheem Carter. So what this means is when they officially recovered the original remains, they said It was part of him. The rest was, and they said some of those parts were bones were just scattered. They ended up doing testing on it, DNA, etc., and identified it as him. Took them a while to even give his remains to the family. When the mom finally, Tiffany Carter, I think is her name, when Tiffany Carter finally gets her son's remains, they are literally in a legal size box, and it's just the skull and a couple random pieces of his body. And what they were claiming in Taylorsville, the officials, is that he was found on a hog farm, and the hogs must have ate him. He must have got attacked by the animals. The animals ate him, and the animals scattered his bones all over. They were saying his bones were up to, I think, close to a mile away from each other. I think that was Ben Crump said it in a press conference. And so during that last press conference they did, the one that I saw at least a couple weeks ago, they were saying that it was reported that they had just found new remains in an adjacent property. They hadn't been identified yet, but now this is confirming that, yes, they were, in fact, Rasheem's remains, unfortunately. And it says here, it's a quote. It says, "The family of Rasheem Carter, while still deep in grief, is being denied adequate information and closure from the Mississippi officials overseeing this case. From the beginning of this case, the family has been misled. At first, when the first of Rasheem's remains were discovered with his head decapitated from his body, officials told the family that it was animals that unalived him. Then officials admitted that they believed he was M-worded." Now, this is the first time I'm ever seeing that they actually admitted that they felt he was M-worded. I mean, we know this. I ain't saying none of us, like, we needed them to say that, but it's like they're acting like all of us with common sense are the ones who are idiots and making up stuff and making this bigger. It's just an unfortunate situation kind of thing. No. It's unfortunate that there's so much hate there that humans could do that to another human, and then a bunch of other humans can cover it up for them. That's what's unfortunate. Says, "Now it is unacceptable." This is the family speaking still. "Now it is unacceptable that the family had to fight to find out through an email that more of Rasheem's remains were found, and still they haven't been told any information, been offered a meeting with officials, or received his remains." So they haven't received the second set of remains. Or this might be the third set. I can't remember. "They continue to be stonewalled at every turn. This family just wants to find out what happened to Rasheem and say their goodbyes. They asked that the additional remains be returned to them so that they can lay him to rest. The family of Rasheem Carter will hold a protest to demand justice. And so that'll be actually this weekend, again in Taylorsville, Mississippi. So they have been there a couple times to Taylorsville, Mississippi, where, you know, all this craziness is happening. I have a couple clips. This one here is a press conference, or this was part of the rally they did. I think this was the first time. I could be wrong, but I think this was the first time. And brace yourself for what you might hear. If you're kind of sensitive, you might not want to listen to this. It's not graphic, but it's heartbreaking. And bear with my slow computer. It's just giving me the flux today.
Mom, if you give me permission, I got to understand what they did to this black and brown man. I said, okay. They disconnected his genitals. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying here? I'm going to say it out loud for other people that don't know. They cut off his manhood. It was found in his mouth. This is why you're standing here today. They tried to take a dignity from our black and brown brother. And then they have the audacity to disrespect his family and accuse his family of suffering from psychological issues, or he suffered from. They try to blame him for his own death. And they think we're going to sit here and take that? Absolutely not. Our black kings and queens are rising up. We have lawyers in this crowd.
So that was a part of the rally, and I didn't know that when I did the other videos. I literally found that out after I did, I think, the last video, and it was probably like later that day or something. I was like, oh my God, I did not know this, because I would have mentioned that, because that's very old school of them. That's very Jim Crow, slave master kind of actions. Like, that's just, no animal did that to him. No hogs attacked him and then took his genitals and placed them in his mouth. That's the stuff that, if I'm not mistaken, I think they did the same thing to Emmitt Till. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you know for a fact, but I almost feel like I heard that about Emmitt Till as well. So horrible, like what he had to go through. This is also, I have a clip from when the family first took their trip there, when they were actually looking for Rasheem, trying to get answers, and they went into so the police was telling them that there was like no footage, no one knew anything, that kind of thing. And so the family went and started asking around themselves, and they were able to find out that there was, yes, power dynamic. They were able to find that there was actually some footage. And so here's a little clip of that.
Back to the left. Back to the left. Goes back to the left. 10-15. Y'all got no cameras on this side over there?
We got none on this side.
Okay, so you actually literally see Rasheem in that bottom right view, camera view with the two cars. That's him walking away from the Family Dollar. And the story that we heard with that is that he was in the Family Dollar on the phone, and he was actually there trying to get trying to see if he could find a charger, because he also didn't have a charger, and his phone battery was running dead, because he had been stranded at that point for almost 24 hours, almost. And so his he went in there to see if he could, find what he needed. And what he told his mom was that someone, the cashier, answered the phone, and he heard her say, "He's in here." And that's when he left. And so they're saying when he left out of there, the direction he went in was likely towards it was in the direction of where the police station was. But that was literally I was going to say the last time he was caught on camera, but it wasn't the last time. The last time he was actually caught on, I would say that was I don't know, because I think I'll say the last time he was caught on video camera that we know of was what you just saw. However, the last image of Rasheem is this one here that I'm about to share. And this is Rasheem Carter, who was captured on a deer camera. And it's just a camera that's mounted to trees so that hunters can locate where the animals are active at, where deer and stuff are active at. And it captures them like that. And so literally they have captured him on camera like a wild animal, because I truly believe that they hunted him down. I believe that they captured him and then took him and dropped him in the middle of this, land, this forest, and they would like try to get away, and they hunted him down. I truly believe that. And the reason I say that is because, okay, we saw him walk out of the store. He was fully clothed. Now in this, he's shirtless. They are speculating. It looks like he doesn't have on shoes either. You can't 100% tell, but it looks like he doesn't have on shoes either. And I truly believe they plopped him out there and then said, basically, fight your way out of here. If you get out, you live. If you don't, you don't. And yeah. So, and you see there, he also has a club. He has like a log or a club size log in his hand. And yeah. And his family pointed out that he looked bruised as well. And now that I'm looking at it on this image, I can actually see on his shoulder, it does look like he's bruised, shoulder and back, actually. This is the first time I'm actually being able to see it as clear like that. So just horrible, horrible. And as if this wasn't enough, like to do this to this young man who was working and just trying to make a living. He got a little 6-year-old daughter, and he gets stranded and his life gets taken because he's in a sundown town. It's crazy. But his family has not taken this lying down. They've been very, very active, and they've been showing on social media. Aaron, I feel like I'm saying the same thing too. The bottom of his pants are wet and muddy. But they've been on social media very vocal and showing, telling what they've been through. And one of his cousins, this is the one I really started following and kind of being able to keep up on with the story. I'm gonna keep that up. Hold on, I'm gonna share this screen with y'all. She was saying, Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, y'all are liars. Just tell the truth on why it really took so long with the autopsy results. The math ain't mathing, and we're on to y'all 100. So it says the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation says the autopsy report inconclusive about cause of death of young man who attorney said was emmed and head removed from body. State medical examiners could not determine how Rasheem Carter died. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigations announced on Wednesday. The 25-year-old, and then they give the history of him disappearing. They're saying based solely upon the condition of the remains, there was no means by which a cause of death could be reasonably determined by the medical examiner. And that's in part because if you actually saw the remains, they're like cleaned. They're cleaned, like you could tell they've been like cleaned with solution. There's no skin, no tissue, no nothing was on them. They were as if they were it didn't look real. It almost looks like it was almost looked like it was, a classroom skeleton or something. It was just cleaned of any trace of any kind of evidence. So I'm just going to play a couple quick things. So another thing was when the family was there, it was made very clear when they were in Taylorsville to do their peaceful protests and request that they get justice for Rasheem. It was very clear how these people felt about them. And so I'm going to play this. That's the family in a pretty much park, kind of waiting, I guess, for traffic to move.
Sorry, son of a bitch.
So as you can see, it is clear the temperament there. You got the police are there almost as if it is they're militarized. They're guarding as if these are criminals or something with their AK-47s. All of them got them. AK-47s, standing guard. This is a family who's there just trying to find out what happened to their relative who was murdered, and there are no answers. And so they're just trying to get answers, rightfully so. But the tone is very clear. And this is, the family, they ended up having a rally in a parking lot, and some of them, wrote a message, Rasheem's life mattered, making it clear. They're putting it in a parking lot. Well, the response to that was, hold on, y'all. That's why I like my images already pulled in, but I'm working with what I can work with. This was the chief of police's response to that. And this is the guy who's supposed to, hit the wrong button. This is the guy who supposedly on the family side and trying to help or acting as if he's helping. This is also the guy that, now my computer didn't froze, y'all. Come on now. This is also the guy who they're saying that Rasheem came to for help. And this was his response to the Rasheem's Life Matters on the sidewalk. So if you can't really see that, that's someone who, that's the fire truck. I'm able to see it a little clearer now. It's the fire truck, and they brought out the fire hose. Remember fire hoses and what they used them for with black people in the civil rights during the civil rights movement. They have a fire hose. A garden hose could have did this, but I think there's a message in this fire hose. But the fire hose they use to clean up or wash away, as if they tried to the way they're trying to wash away the death of Rasheem. They're washing away Rasheem's life mattered off the ground. And the chief of police took a picture of that and posted a little cleanup and a hand wave emoji. I mean, just tell us who you really are. The days of, the truth is the KKK has always been hidden in plain sight, so to speak. They've always been our chief of police, our judges, our teachers, our like these people in power. They've always been that. Now they're just a lot bolder than they used to. Why am I sharing it? Y'all can't see my nose now. Y'all can't see everything. Why y'all in my business? Why y'all in my business? But so yeah, that's the overview of that story. I could really go so much deeper because I could go so much deeper. But I will do another update deep dive video on that as well. I'm gonna jump to your comments and then we're gonna get to the next story. I think I'm gonna skip a story, to be honest, because I ain't really feeling it. Let's see. Lord, the fear he must have felt. Yes, being Marilyn Gale, that is the thought that I've had. I honestly, last night when I was pulling this together, started tearing up. I had to pull the tissue out. I was like, this story just hits me every time. Just literally thinking of that, like there was no one around to help him, and anyone who could help him was preying on him. They were predators. I mean, just the hopelessness and them cutting off his genitals. I guarantee you they didn't wait until he was gone to do that. So the agony and pain of that. How do you do that to another human? That's crazy. I don't get it. The hate. Also, I can't imagine. I can't wrap my mind around this level of evil and hate. Exactly. And these people are still. I literally, when I was pulling stuff for y'all, I went to the Taylorville Police Department Facebook page, and just all these happy pictures of people and great job, Bob, and all of this for arresting people and all of that. It's just so much. It's just evil, and you can see the undertone of hate in the communication, even on Facebook. It's horrible. This is where I think the DOJ needs to step in. States are not doing their jobs. Federal justice needs to happen. Now. I know that's what Ben Crump was calling for. I don't know where they are with that because that's something I haven't researched yet. You said that they hunted him down and mutilated him. Yep. All right, so let's lighten the mood a little bit, y'all, because I don't want VellNito. He's like, now I can't work under these circumstances. So let's keep it moving. So next is the story of Red Table Talk. The Red Table Talk with Jade Pinkett Smith and her mom and her daughter. They issued a statement after the show was canceled. They're saying that Facebook Watch was the network behind the Red Table Talk. However, Meta, who runs Facebook and I think Instagram too, has decided to shut it down. They shut down the network. So it says the popular talk show was co-hosted by Jade Pinkett Smith, her mother, Adrena, and her daughter, Willow Smith. Facebook Watch original programming endeavors ended with none of its shows returning for more seasons. Red Table Talk was the last remaining show to be canceled. They are saying that the Red Table Talk was being shopped around to other interested networks. Variety reported that it is cutting costs. These are cost-cutting measures that Meta is doing, and that's why they're getting rid of the Facebook Watch platform. Says they also release shows like Peace of Mind with Taraji. I watched like maybe one episode of that, and it was decent, but not, I guess, enough for me to remember that it was even on, that it was something to watch. So I never watched it again. And then the Biebers on Watch. Is that Justin Bieber? I didn't even know nothing about this. And then Elizabeth Olsen's drama series, Sorry for Your Loss. Don't know what that is. And Limetown with Jessica Biel. Don't know what that is. It says the Red Table Talk premiered on May 7th of 2018 and won a Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Informative Talk Show in 2021. It later spawned the spinoff Red Table Talk, the Estefans. Oh, I didn't know they had 1, 2, 3. I ain't up on as much stuff as y'all think I am. Says among the most memorable Red Table Talk episodes, this is my favorite, were the Jada chat with husband Will about their romantic entanglement. Oops, entanglement with singer August Alsina, the post-Oscar slap episode, and the reunion of the A Different World cast. And I'm like, did I miss that? I love A Different World, and I feel like I don't remember seeing that on Red Table Talk. They said the show was produced by Jada and Will Smith, production company, Westbrook Studios. And I don't know, do any of you still watch Red Table Talk? I think the issue for me, because I actually enjoyed it, the few episodes I did see, but I think with it being on Facebook, I don't think of Facebook as a place I go to find things to watch. I mean, I'll scroll through my timeline and a video pops up, I may, watch it, but it's not a place I'm like, oh, I'm ready to sit down and watch TV. Let me go to Facebook. That's not what I do. I go to usually YouTube, to be honest. YouTube first, and then Paramount Plus or Amazon Prime. Those are like my go-tos, and then Netflix. But I never thought of Facebook as a place to go just to watch shows. So maybe that's why I know about none of these other shows. I see Explore. This chat over here on my side is so much slower than what's happening over on the YouTube side. But I see Explore said that Policy and Explore is saying they never watched. But yeah, definitely the entanglement episode was good. I actually did I should have been thinking I would have added those links in this, but I did a video on that as well when that all went down, 2 years ago now. So yeah, if you're newer to this channel, go back down the video list. There's a bunch of stuff that we've done over here over the years. Being Marilyn Gale says I only go to Facebook to find cruise information. Yeah. And I am there because we're over there. We have our VIP Facebook group, so that pulls me in there. Honestly, before we did our Facebook group, I was barely ever on Facebook. I wouldn't be on Facebook for months at a time, but now I'm on there daily just because we have a lot going on over there with our group. But yeah, so they actually did also, make sure I'm putting this in. The Red Table Talk did a post, and they said, we are so grateful to have such an beautiful partnership. We're so grateful to have had such a beautiful partnership with Facebook Watch, and we are sorry to see the entire team disband. We wish everyone well in their new journeys to come. We at the Red Table are in talk to find a new home, and we'll see you soon. So, I mean, from the sounds of it, the show has done well on its platform. I really feel like it should find a new home. I feel like it's great. Has my chat frozen over here? What is happening? Oh, that's because I'm in the start. I'm rough today, y'all. It's been as much as I was like trying to get ahead with all this stuff for us, and I was like, yeah, watch the last hour before we go live. I'm just be chilling. My clothes gonna be ready, everything, and then I was like, oh my god. So I'm all discombobulated, but thank you so much, Michelle ATL and Brown, for that blessing. I really appreciate that, friend. You've really truly blessed me this evening. I really appreciate that. And for any of you who, everyone should be subscribed to Michelle ATLian's channel because she is a legend and very entertaining. So definitely, if you are not subscribed, go over there because I enjoy it. And she has a Patreon, and it's very great too. So I'm part of the squad, basically, is what I'm saying. Okay, so let's move on to the next story. So this next story, I don't know. I don't know if this qualifies as a good story or a bad story turned good. I guess we're kind of easing our way into something. But this woman at a gas station was unfortunately, y'all know, like, and I think this is across the country where, let me see. Anita is saying, oh wait, okay, now the comment went away. So sorry. Okay, well, Tiana, okay, Anita Lauderdale says they need to cancel that show and throw that red table away ASAP. Why are you saying that, friend? Again, the episodes I watched, I enjoyed them all. I just was not a regular viewer. Thanks so much, friend. I really appreciate that. Can't wait for your next live. So yeah, this lady. So we know that it's from what I know, like it's a epidemic of these carjackings and stuff, and it seems like there's waves, especially when the weather changes and all of that. It's horrible. And I know also these Kia things, like what is it, Kia and is it Hyundais and Hyundais or whatever, and Kias, that they're able to steal your cars by using some USB, something they have to be able to start your car up. Well, I have a friend who has now, they text me the other day, their car was stolen, their Kia was stolen a couple months ago. People just drove, it was kids, rode in the car and then left it somewhere randomly. They dented it up and stuff, but it was still drivable. They went through stuff and all of that, but the car was drivable. Got the car back, had to still put it in the body shop and all this stuff. He got his car back maybe now about a month and a half ago. Why did he tell me they just stole his car again? Not even, and he moved to another side, like a whole other area that's nowhere near where he used to live. I'm like, oh no, it's time to trade in that Kia. So I don't know if any of y'all, y'all call it, it's called Carjacking. Okay, yeah. So they're hacking. I'm sure everyone pretty much knows. I don't know if they're Kia and Hyundai are sending out notices, recalls, or whatever, having y'all bring y'all cars into the dealer. But I swear he said, I'm gonna have to check. I'll let y'all know on Facebook and then Patreon and stuff what he says. But I swear, when he got his car back recently, he said that they put a kill switch on it. But I didn't ask details of like, is it that, like, because back in the day I'm talking about the 90s when I had my first car. We had I had a kill switch installed on my car where it was just a toggle switch underneath the dashboard, and you flip it off, and no matter what they did, they couldn't get the car to start. They would have to know the switch was down there. So I don't know if this is that kind of kill switch, because I'm like, if so, then chances are, because criminals are like roaches, and rats, they will find a new way to get what they want. And so you just got to completely, eliminate the issue. So yeah, it's crazy. Hyundai's been stolen since 1992. And for me, Kias were starting to like that Telluride. I think the Telluride, the Kia SUV Telluride, I think that's a Kia, the Telluride. I was literally really considering looking. I test drove it at the auto show, and I was like, maybe, I'm a little little bougie. I'm usually like a luxury car kind of person, but I was like, this is nice. This is nice. I ain't touching that thing now. But anyway, so technically, I wouldn't rambling, but this lady, here's a video that has gone viral of a lady who found herself in this situation while obviously getting gas, putting gas in her car. I'm not sure because it cuts in like after her car has been taken over. And I'm not sure if she was filling up and left the car running. So I don't know if there was a way to prevent this, but here you go.
Please don't take it, please, sir. Please don't take it. Thank you. Thank you. Please don't take it, please, sir. Please don't take it. Thank you. Thank you. Please don't take it, please, sir.
Can you imagine filling up your car and having someone hop in there, and then you like literally you can tell she was like, I need my car, like, you please. And I'm trying to get rid of this, and I don't know if it was a case of she was like, I gotta be able to get to work, I cannot be what I gotta go get my kid. I don't know what that was, but she was literally holding on to the hood of her car. So thank God that he had a change of heart. What I was thinking, I was like, he obviously would have been looking directly in her eyes. And I'm glad that on some level, he ended up having some level of compassion that must have made him change his heart, or fear even, like, oh God, I can't be driving with this lady on the hood. Because the truth is, I've seen so much stuff like this out there as I'm putting content together for the Reality Chronicles channel, which will have things like this on it. I'm seeing videos where the people don't care and they still drive off with the people holding on to their cars, on the hoods on them and all of that. It's craziness. So thank God. There wasn't any, like, I just saw this video. There was like no real information on it. So I can't give any details, but yeah, ain't no way I'm getting on the hood of my car. Yeah, me either. And I love my car. I really do. Like, my car is one of those cars I'm like, I think I would keep this car like even, in my 80s, my 90s, and just have it underneath a car cover because I love my car. But but if somebody tries to take it, there you go. That's what insurance is for. It's yours. But yeah, that was my last story for this time with us together. So I'm officially off until next Tuesday, and that's when I will see you guys again. But we have VellNito. Yeah, you ready? Okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna play your trailer first, so that gives you time. You gotta use the watch. Okay, yeah, use the washroom and all that. That'll give you time to do all that. Okay, so VellNito, he's getting ready. He's gonna do his bathroom break and all that. So that's why this intro is a little long for these people who impatient. You go use the washroom too. You go do what you need to do too. Go refill your drink, your wine, go tuck the baby in or whatever. We do the trailer, and then when we come back, VellNito will be on camera. So let me make sure that I play the right trailer. Wait, y'all. Okay. That's right. Okay, I guess that's all. Okay, I thought it was longer than that. Okay. Anyway, I'm so off tonight. Just all off. All right, y'all. I will see y'all next week on Tuesday, and treat VellNito right, and he'll be here in a minute.
Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Make me put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like chemo. And give a F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on the brand new Beamer. Tryna earn 8 stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a keto. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque o no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood. I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Y'all just talk, don't live it. And just took that route, that seen it. I'm so outspoken like Reason. Jimmy Neutron, boy, Young G's. And I'm a self-made man.
I actually interviewed Darius Cooks on my radio show. I've been 5 or 6 years ago before he blew up on social media. And Justice was just articulated. He actually went on Periscope Live during the radio show. It is his own show in the studio during the show that he was supposed to be on. But he's a narcissistic individual. And because of that, he's had many of these run-ins. I think there was a scandal a few years ago where he was doing fake credit repair for people and got sued. His restaurant got closed down, those sorts of things. And so he maintains these online scams, preying on the hearts and minds of his followers. And even just articulated after our show, because we tend to ridicule people when they act up on our show. He actually went on Periscope Live to talk about me and our producer and some of the other guests after the show. So this has been going on for a long period of time. Now, legally, when somebody talks about you online, that's just talk. But once they get into the place of making threats, either violence, threatening to release personal information, well, that's where you can actually file a criminal report against this individual. And if they do release improper or censored information, personal information that is privileged, that absolutely, you can report that to the Georgia Bureau of Investigations or to the Federal Bureau of Investigations for them to look into it, particularly if you have multiple individuals who are involved in this.
What's up, good people? Let me know that you can hear me in the chat by Vel. You need to get this chat. You need a new mat because the mat is like denting in and making the chat move funny. But if you can hear me in the chat, let me know by saying it's too easy. It's too easy. We can do this with our eyes closed. It's too easy. Exposing a scammer. It's too easy. We can do this with our eyes closed. I need to take these glasses off. They too dark for me to see these other screens because they all far away and stuff. So I'm just switch it up a little bit on y'all. It may not match as well, but I can see. You gotta be able to see. Thank you for letting me know. It's too easy. Miss Wilson and Precious G and Queen K and Michelle Lee and Nicole Driver and the Deborah and the Dre and the Power Dynamics for life. Appreciate y'all. I was reading the comments. Oh. Hold on a second. See, I told you that I wanted my own background, and you forgot again, like you did last time. Now I got patience for you, but man, some of this stuff. All right, yeah, I need my own background, is what I'm saying. We got to be able to know the difference in the segments of the shows, and so this one remind me of growing up in K-Town in Chicago, and so I was reading the comments from last night's live stream. Well, not last night, it was Tuesday night's live stream, because VellNito told me, VellNito, told me that you miss a lot of stuff when you're up here talking. Like we can't, it's just a lot going on with the comments and the screens and your talking points and all the good stuff. So we miss a lot of stuff. And sometimes I see people, you know, later. Well, VellB told me he sometimes seen people later when he watching the replay be like, he never say nothing to me. Well, that's because he's not seeing your stuff. It ain't because he ignoring you, baby. He just not seeing it. He see it when he watch it later, though. So, you know, just keep commenting. Eventually, you know, he'll catch it. He'll catch it. So just know it's not he ignoring nobody. He ignoring nobody. He love everybody. He ignoring, except for Crooks. Except for Crooks. He had love for Crooks, but that, you know, went out the window when he realized he was a sociopath, allegedly. But I saw somebody ask in the comments when I was watching it back if I had vodka in here because they was my energy or something. They was questioning where it was coming from. And what I'm saying is, no, it wasn't no vodka in here. Ain't no vodka in here. I'm a healthy man. I don't need no drugs and alcohol. Because I just get high off exposing predators like Scampa. Where is Scampa's picture? Speaking of Scampa. I'm sorry, that ain't the right picture of Scampa. Scampa. And I get excited when I'm informing the people and everybody else about Scampa and all the predatory practices that he's done. And I ain't no crook, so I don't need substances to settle my brain at night so I can sleep because I'm living right. So covering this Scampa is like trying to report on the soap opera because it's daily drama with the crook. He's like the Susan Lucci of the internet. I think somebody needs to get his scammer an award for the best sociopathic performance as a Christian cook influencer so he can crawl back in his hole where it come from, because I think he just won an award for being a horrible human being. So if we give it to him, maybe he'll go away. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Anyway, remember, I can't be yelling. I can use my regular voice, but I can't be yelling because I'm a loser. Can't blow out this voice. Can't be hoarse all the way to next Tuesday. Can't be doing all that. But anyway, so today I'm just gonna do a little update on some of the stunt queen antics that we recently seen with Scampa, aka Darius Crooks. And so you know we left off last time. We was talking about how he was starting stuff with our beautiful sister Tabitha Brown. Tab ain't bothering nobody, living her best life, loving on her husband and her family, loving on the people. Her post is about encouraging people and uplifting people and being transparent in a real way about, you know, life struggles and all of that and how she persevered. Meanwhile, Scampa over here dragging people and flaunting his wealth like ain't nobody else got the ability to get some money in their accounts. Like that can't be sifted as wheat. So, one of the things that Scampa got caught up in is, you know, y'all, I've been telling y'all about, that, you know, he considers, he said on multiple occasions that the internet is a playground. And that's what I'm sorry, y'all. You know, I got a fresh haircut again today, and so it's heavy getting my face and stuff. Yeah, so, you know, I told you that he has these burner accounts and these bot accounts. The burner accounts is like when you hide behind an account that ain't it's got some, it might be some 75-year-old lady on the avatar, the picture of, and then you find out it's Darius Crooks operating like he, you know, or a 21-year-old girl a picture of a 21-year-old girl, some random girl, or one of his favorite, Tom Con. He's got this burner account it's called Tom Con. I'll pull it up for y'all one day. I ain't got it close handy. He used to try to harass VellB over there on Twitter with that one, acting like it was somebody else, but it's Darius. It's craziness, crazy. So anyway, every once in a while, this scam pa get caught. and the truth is, he been doing this since me and VellB knew him back in Chicago when he was running the Cupcake Gallery. He was doing it to his customers then when they be complaining either about the product itself being oily. We used to call them butter cakes. They were cupcakes, but there was so much butter in them. The little paper around it be all oily. I mean, you could grease your scalp with the paper. You just did take the cupcake out, just grease your scalp. It was so greasy. So people had started calling them butter cakes. So if there was somebody who would comment in the Yelp or something and say, you know, they wasn't too delicious, or they was butter cakes, not cupcakes, then he would harass them using these fake accounts. And people called him out. We're gonna do a deep dive on that. And you know, give us time. We're gonna do a deep dive on that. Today we just got one good example because it's recent. Because, you know, the other thing, VellB, you know, we've been talking a lot about strategy. And so he's been telling me, you know, some of the things he's dealt with over the past couple of years of exposing this scampire ran by Scampa right there. You know, he's been telling me some of the stuff. And so one of the things he said that, you know, some of the people try to use is saying, well, you just talking about old stuff. Well, it don't matter. It's still a crime, still a scam. A scam is a scam. I don't care how old it is. But on top of that, the ninja's still scamming. It's current day. We were just trying to give you the history so you can understand what was going on today. Gotta quit screaming. Anyway, so I'm gonna share this because, like VellB told you, he was brother. He just be doing too much. I'm on it. I'm working with y'all. Be doing too much. So what we got here is Darius Crooks was there was a follower of his who asked about the closing of the restaurants. You want to know why they all of a sudden asking about the closing of the restaurants again? Because I covered it. Because I covered it. And I reported on it. And they were like, that don't make sense for what Crooks, aka Scampire, been telling us. So they asking him, this fool, let me show y'all this. Y'all would get a chuckle out of this one. Hold on. How you share this again? Oh, okay. Click this. Okay, then this. Okay. All right, here you go. I hate it. It ain't huge. Let me see. Can I enlarge this? Yeah, I can't enlarge it. But anyway, just know what's going on here. It says, Darius Crooks, when his follower asked him about his own closed restaurants, he responded, but forgot to use one of his burner accounts. So you had a person commenting, and they say, I don't know, somebody did this, but they were trying to highlight the people's names. Some of the words got covered up. But anyway, somebody's commenting saying, y'all have to chill, wishing bad on this man because y'all doing bad. So this is some flying monkey behavior that we're watching here in these first couple comments. Then somebody replies and says, you don't know him and he don't know you. He could care less about you. Not really, because they always online harassing people. If he could care less, he wouldn't be harassing people. Says, just because you top fan don't make y'all friends. Then somebody else, they be fisticuffing y'all. They so full of dramatics. They get to fighting amongst each other. They want so much drama when he ain't getting them enough. They started with each other. And then the next person say, again, I don't know who says, he is not boasting. He asked when and why, which is a normal question. Okay, so what I'm realizing, this is about him still with the Tabitha Brown. So when he was asking about beautiful Tabitha Brown, her restaurant closing, people start inquiring about his restaurant too. So then, this the kicker one, y'all. This is the kicker. This comment from Darius himself. It's supposed to be a bot. I mean, it's supposed to be a burner account. It's supposed to be some follower of his, but it says Marion RH. So he responding to this person. For y'all who don't know how these threads work, he responded to a person and he says he closed them for his mental health. Plus, he really didn't need the money. Who the heck is he? You referring to yourself in third person? No, you thought you was using one of your burner accounts and you slipped up and didn't switch accounts. Ah! Caught again, you scamper. Caught again. And we got, oh my God, there's so many of these. I put it together for y'all, but I just wanted, boy, did I get a chuckle when I saw this. Because it claimed that he ain't got no burner accounts, but it constantly get caught commenting about himself in third person because he forgetting that he ain't switched to his burner account. That's why I'm telling y'all who might get harassed by this scamper that it ain't hundreds of people after you, sending you stuff, sending pizza to your job. It's this scammer trying to make, well, it's some, okay, wait a minute, let me slow it down, let me back it up. Okay, there are a couple of them flying monkeys who are crazy too. There's a couple of them who might be doing some shenanigans because that's what they like. They like the drama. That's why they work with the stunt queen. That's why they love her. But for the most part, don't be thinking there's hundreds of people out you because it ain't. It's her multiple personalities under them burner accounts. That's what you're working with. Sociopath. Allegedly, kind of, but not really. I honestly kind of want him to sue us for calling him a sociopath so we can make him take the test. Because you know that's how it works, right? In order to prove us wrong, you would have to take the test. Take it. Take the test. So, y'all gotta quit having me screaming. Can't be screaming, but I get so passionate about this shenanigans of the scam pie. It's so ridiculous. It's a soap opera. He needs to, instead of charging for cookware, just charge ticket admission for this show you putting on for us. Okay, so, and this toxic behavior ain't new. It ain't new at all. This stuff go back all the way back to the 2008, 2009. We got another example here that just was floating around on Twitter. And I just randomly added this and I was like, this right, he needs to hire people for his burner accounts. Too cheap to do that. But yeah, so I just saw this and I was like, I'll just go add this in just for good measure. Just give us another. Well, really, this ain't no good chuckle. This one here is just like, ooh, I want y'all to see how deep this is and how far back it go. So this one here that I'm about to share with y'all is one of his tweets from 2011. And in this, I know it's small, y'all, but in this, this is a person on Twitter who's saying, okay, good point, Darius. How you not gonna honor coupons? LOL. He says, yes, I K her or punch her in the face. LOL. No, don't do that. I'm just kidding. Kinda. This monster gets online and been talking all reckless. He been doing that again. This 2011, but I got something earlier than that. Just ain't have them handy. Earlier than that, get online saying all kind of hateful and derogatory things. I was gonna do the story on the R word, the RAPE, how he has been so derogatory and not understanding. It's something that for somebody who literally probably 99.9% of their followers are females and mostly even African American, you would think he has some compassion for something that a lot of women have struggled with, with having assault in that way, or in some way, just being violated as women. Y'all have to face a lot of stuff that us men don't have to face. But this misogynist, this sociopath, don't have no compassion to be able to sympathize or empathize with his own followers and what they go through, and they okay with it. We don't cover it one day. I ain't gonna dig into it today because that become a whole story in and of itself. But what I am gonna dig into is another new victim. So we have my good buddy VellNito, who we talked about. What was that? A week ago? Was that just a week ago? Yeah, that was when I first met y'all. A week ago, we talked about VellNito, who he harassed and still was harassing as a Tuesday. I shared the story. He was still harassing him. Then we had Tabitha Brown, because he got to drum it up. Stuck queen, drama queen. Got to drum it up. Got to keep something going. Because it ain't about her cooking. She ain't like a legitimate social media influencer. It's about the drama. That's what they subscribe to. So that's what she has to keep going. So VellNito, now I'm talking about recently. Now, if I go way back, I ain't got enough fingers to count. We ain't got enough time. But recently, VellNito, I'm sorry, how I forget? We got VellNito, we got Kim, her father, is gravely ill, and she was just inquiring on if she could possibly get a refund on what her dining $600 she spent with dining with diarrhea. She just inquiring to say, hey, this is my situation now. It's changed since the year ago you had me buy these tickets so you could use it as seed money for your next scam. I know you already spent it on your next scam, but you got a scam going now. You're making new money. Could you possibly maybe refund me just because my situation is a little sensitive? And he said, I block you. Not an answer, not a no, not a I can't do nothing for you, but this is what people do. This ain't no boilerplate response. Just block, just disrespect all over the place. So we got Kim, we got VellNito, we got Tab. That's just in the last 3 weeks. I guess it was like 2.5, 3 weeks. A story a week. It's a soap opera. That's what soap operas do. They give us a new story every week, and we follow it through the week. And then when the Friday comes, it wrap up that story and start with a new one on Monday. Craziness. So now we got Emmitt. So I'm trying to kind of keep up. This y'all. That's why I watch soap operas. There's too much drama. Can't keep up with it. Here's the same way as drama and lies. People be dying 12 times on the show. Like, how you died again and now you're back again? Now you're twin. Now you got a twin. We ain't know. Now you're quadruplets. That's Darius. I think that's where he got his script from. He the Tyler Perry of social media scamming. Not calling Tyler Perry a scammer. I'm talking about how he write the stories. And his story's just as bad. No. I know we got some. I told you I just got my hair cut, so it's still a little loose hair here. So I know we got some Tyler Perry fans out there, so I ain't going in on Tyler Perry. But I'm just saying, some of these storylines sound very similar. They kind of like the same. Anyway, what it looks like, from what I can understand, is that a lady commented under one of Darius's Scampos post, and she was correcting the grammar that was used. Hold on, give me a second. I'm moving so fast. I gotta see. Because Vell, he usually had these in order of the stories, and he ain't got it that way. And then the thumbnail's so small that you can't really see what's happening. And now I'm going to display everything on the screen because they would give a whole story, wait for it's over. Okay, we got to do it this way. Let me see. So anyway, this Amy lady, hold on, let me see if I can at least put this in. Jesus. Give us a sec. Talk amongst yourself. Yeah, I didn't pull it in. I'm sorry, VellB didn't pull it in. You didn't pull this in. I don't think you pulled none of my stories in for this. Okay, I'm just do it this way then. Okay, so wrong thing again. Jesus. Talk amongst yourselves. I probably froze because the computer doing some. Oh, I know what I need to do. Cancel. Sorry about that. Computer is being real slow. I got to clean some files. Okay, we're trying to share screen, not footage. Okay, so this Amy lady ended up commenting, correcting his language, grammar on, said he had misspelled a word. That's what people do on social media. I get that kind of stuff all the time. It is what it is. You ain't got to fight the people. You ain't got to block them. You ain't got to dox them. So because she did that, he then post, now lay me down to sleep. Amy didn't know the support runs deep. She acted a fool. I kept it cool. Around here, y'all stay loaded and locked. She thought she was being funny, and now she blocked. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. This is why I shouldn't have any days off. Why are you bragging about harassing people and blocking? So it wasn't good enough that for whatever reason, yeah, I skipped that. Vell skipped that story. He was a little burnt out, so he skipped that story. Y'all know it's about 300 videos on YouTube about it. he ain't feel like repeating what everybody else saying because he ain't got no personal insight on it. So, so he ended up commenting. He ended up posting this lady. So what they do is when somebody offends their leader, their scamper, the cult leader of the flying monkey, D-hags, the deplorables. That's a new name I came up with. The D-hags, the D-have, and the deplorables. And so they go after people for the leader. And so they are sending the information too, but he digs it up because he lay in the bed late at night, can't sleep from all the torture from his soul or being soulless. So he be up at night researching followers. You're supposed to have millions of followers across platforms, and you got time to be doxing them and looking up their information. IAmVellB supposedly, because we don't know, your numbers so fake they make no sense. You done bought that stuff. It's clear to us at this point because VellB got about less than a quarter of what you supposedly have on paper, and he can't keep up with all them people. He ain't looking up nobody's information because they said something crazy. Ignore them. It's engagement. And we know you heard us the other day because you said that. We're teaching you. Pay attention. You can learn something, like how to be a good person, like how to live right. It's still too late because you've done too many crimes. You got to pay the consequences first. Then maybe your last 5 years we'll let you have out. Scamper. But anyway, so he done put this lady information up there on the internet. The hags, the deplorables, the flying monkeys are just flapping around. Oh, they loving it. Oh, our leader didn't dox somebody else. We so happy about it. It gives us joy. Flying monkeys. Y'all remember what that is, right? I feel like we got some new people up in here. Make sure y'all know what flying monkeys is. Flying monkeys are the people who enable and support a narcissist. Some will even help the narcissist in carrying out spiteful and deceitful acts, like doxing people. These people could be her family members, friends, her partner, or even her own children. She ain't got no children. Darius Crooks, Scampa, ain't got no children. He too miserable and unloving to even want children. He tell you, he don't even want no pet. He don't want nothing that's going to require something of him. Even when they know the narcissist is doing wrong, they will help her because they fear her. They know if they don't help her, she is going to punish them by blocking them. Usually by using the silent treatment on them and doing spiteful things to make their life miserable. Now, the only people whose lives get made miserable by a block button from him are his flying monkeys when they get disbarred because they lost. They feel disconnected and abandoned. The rest of us could give a goddamn. We create burner accounts and rejoin like you do, so we can still continue to collect evidence. What we got next? So we got some of the comments, because I'm just showing y'all, like, today is about like exploring the mindset of a flying, deplorable D-hag. This is what they be doing. This person. I hate it. I hate Vel. Next time, can you start working on this stuff over the weekend? That way by Tuesday, we can put everything we need to put on the screen for them. Because there's a lot just trying to share the screen constantly. You got all your notes in the background. This ain't professional. Yeah, I thought, see, when I joined you, I thought you professional and I like a certain image. And you got us looking like we working with Darius Crooks. You got it looking like the scam pie over here with this rinky-dink stuff. We can't be doing this. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to work with what he got going on tonight. It's just a little bit of he got the stories, but it's just a little bit of a mess. Okay, so this comment that y'all can barely see says, this person, this a dude. I was gonna say something else. I can't say it. Can't go too far. Can't go too far. Oh, I want to say it though. Patreon, I want to say it. I'm gonna type it to y'all in a comment tonight. I'm gonna post what I wanted to say. But John here, because there's some male deplorables. That's what we're gonna call the males. There you go. I told you I've been looking for a name. So the males are the deplorables and the females are the D-hags. So the deplorables and the D-hags. We got it. Look at that brain. Look at that brain working. Anyway, John, who is one of the deplorables, comments, I started following cause the cooking videos. I stayed cause all the drama and beefs. Loving it. And then the scampa, the stunt queen, replies, I like a little balance. Don't worry, we be cooking soon. Why are you online creating a brand around drama, around harming people? And you have attracted the lowest of the low who love that kind of stuff. I told y'all last week or earlier this week, these the kind of people who part of this, who are aware, like really aware of what's going on. These are the people we don't F with in our real lives. These are the trifling cousins and co-workers and exes that we like, oh my God, they so goddamn toxic. Those are his followers, the core ones, the core hags and the core deplorables. That's who they are. Who celebrates drama and hurting people and who putting people personal pictures and everybody cackling in the comments? What kind of lack of humanity you got over there? Making fun of people with cancer. Wait till your turn. You deplorable. All right, I'm going too far. Then we got the misguided ones. They just blind for no reason. They just lack of common sense, lack of everything, lack of consciousness. I think they're just knocked out. This person here, this is a deplorable here. This male deplorable. This deplorable said, I think you should actually follow him before. Okay, so this somebody commenting on Darius scampa Crooks being a scammer. And this Malcolm person replies to that person and says, I think you should actually follow him before you just believe what others have said. Beloved, actually, I have followed him for years. I knew him for years. So your following him means a goddamn to me. Not one single allegation is founded. The lies you tell, Malcolm, not one. I don't blindly follow anyone or anything. The lies you tell again. The lies. So I'll continue to support him like millions of others. Those millions you're talking about are the bots. These are the burner accounts that I just showed you. It's crazy. What? We just showed you the man is using burner accounts to talk to himself, talk to his fans. Been doing that for years. It's the perception of having engagement. When he ain't got time to be his own burner accounts and his own fans in the comment section, he had like 20 likes. How you got 20 likes and you got millions of followers? Make it make sense. This one. This is no. Wow, I'm just noticing tonight, look like we're only pointing out to the plurables. These are all males. These are all males, based on the names at least. Or his burner accounts. You never know. This might have been a burner account. We just didn't catch him talking to third person. All right, let's look at this one. Then we're gonna move on, y'all. We're gonna move on. I don't know if I'm boring y'all or not. Let me know. Hold on. We're gonna do this one first. So deplorable Joshua says, well, the CC person asked Joshua, is he a scammer? And they like, with a question mark, they seriously inquiring. I don't know why they inquiring to the scammers deplorables when they need to be over here with the people with the light. Get out the darkness. Get out of it. Joshua, the deplorable, says, nope, you heard wrong. Quit lying to these people. There's too much evidence to deny. And speaking of it, I'm gonna give y'all a quick little trailer and take a swig of water, and then we're gonna break down these unfounded stories as deplorable Malcolm says. Not one single allegation is founded. Not one. Well, let's just take a trip down memory lane for Malcolm after this commercial break. Then actually, I'm gonna put a little poll in here first. Hold on, y'all. Y'all just talk amongst yourselves. Put a poll here first. Uh-oh. Gotta close it out first. Close it out. What's okay? All right, so VellB taught me how to do the poll. So we got a poll in there that you can answer while we on this is a real quick short break, just real quick short break, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Calm down. So VellB wanted me to just do a little post check on the audience. You know, he like, you know, you get to going because I get emotional about this scampire and this soap opera of harming people and the joy that these deplorables get out of it. And, you know, so I don't want to lose y'all. But so he wanted me to do this poll and says, are you enjoying VellNito? That's me. Do you have 45 more minutes for him? And look like overwhelmingly, we got 6% of y'all who might, you know, have to go to bed or whatever, or you ain't interested. It's okay. Fine with us. Do what you got to do. You do you, we're going to do us. But 94% of y'all who with us. So let's carry on because you can't make everybody happy. So what I'm going to do as a part of, you know, because we got this trailer that VellB worked so hard at, and it's fun and it's funny, but it's factual as well. And so I'm gonna just do a little walkthrough of some of the information that's in the video. But I'm gonna go ahead and play the fun part for y'all because I know y'all, it's still new, people loving it. So I'm gonna play the fun part, and then we're gonna get to the factual part, and I'm gonna get a little story time on some of these past scams. Well, some are current as well. So we're just gonna go through each one, and we probably won't make it all the way through. There's just so much. So this is the part that I'm coming in today. We're gonna do our little story time on some of these scams. I'm gonna give you a little background because these things flashing up real quick, you know, might be missing it. So in this first one, we got what VellB termed the first known scam of Darius Crooks, aka Scampa, aka Stunt Queen, aka sociopath, but and narcissist. So this business was one that he started when he was working at a payroll company, and I think it was Sure Payroll. Yeah, we think if we recalling correctly, it was Sure Payroll. He also worked for ADP, which most people know that because that's real big. Sure Payroll is really big now too, because I think they was newer back then. But he was working at the payroll company. He was like just regular customer, client rep, working with the various businesses. And he decided at a certain point he was going to start his own payroll company. So to VellB's knowledge, it was a legitimate business venture. He ain't from the streets. He wasn't expecting. He didn't know nothing about running roots that the gays, the messy gays do and all that. He didn't know all that. Well, check writing. People do all that stuff. Straight people do that stuff too. He didn't really know about all that stuff. So he wasn't suspecting. He just thought it was a legitimate business because he only knew of people who created legitimate businesses. Well, fast forward, Darius Crooks creates the website. VellB is around for it. He watching it. He's like, this Darius Crooks, I think about 20 maybe at the time, 20 years old. And so VellB's kind of impressed. This youngin', because VellB a few years older than him. VellB is like, this youngin' is really on it. Darius Crooks, what we can say, because I've known him just as long, what we can say is that he was always very mature for his age. His scamming was a mature kind of scamming, even at a young age. That's why we kind of surmise that there may have been some stuff happening in his household that might have caused him to end up in the situation he was in, because he ain't gonna take no accountability for it. We'll never really know, I don't think. But anyway, he was very mature. He was always into R&B and stuff. He was never into rap. He was into R&B and gospel at 19 or 20 years old. What 19 or 20 year old, that's rare. He had a car. He had his own apartment. So VellB just thought he was a very mature person. He didn't think he was scamming to get all the stuff. And he had a legitimate job that he knew of, or that we knew of. So, hey, seemed normal. We don't walk around just questioning if somebody a scammer. Nobody, you don't want nobody you know and care for to be a scammer. So anyway, next thing you know, fast forward, this little company then started. VellB just hearing stuff here and there, but he ain't involved in no way. So next thing you know, Crooks, before he was Scampa, Crooks, just telling VellB that all of a sudden he needs to shut down. He in there trying to delete the existence of that company off of the internet, because his employer had gotten wind to the fact that he had started the company. And when he started the company, the payroll company, he was trying to poach the clients from his job. He was advertising to them and talking to them on the side like, hey, I can do this for you cheaper kind of thing. Long story short, his employer got wind of it. I think if I remember correctly, because you don't quite remember either, right? What we're thinking that if we remember correctly is that one of the clients reported back to the employer like, hey, your rep tried to get me to sign up for their company. And so Darius Crooks get wind that they looking into it, the company, and so he tried to delete and erase everything. Well, they smart like we smart over here, because he tried to hide his dirt over, and we know instantly that it's lies and deceit. They knew it. By the time he went back to work, they were like, pack your stuff up, get on out of here, boy. And so he got fired from that job. He got fired from Sure Payroll. And the next thing you know, he was he losing his apartment within like that. I want to say that same month, later that month, which then didn't make sense because it's like usually take a couple months for them to evict you, so you had to already be behind because he was bad at his bills and stuff. So he ended up moving in with VellB for a couple weeks, and then he moved out quick. VellB just was like, he thought he got stuck. He was like, oh Lord, Because there's Crooks said, can I stay with you for, till I find me a place? And VellB was like, you ain't got no job. How you gonna find you? He did it. He ended up finding a job supposedly, and he found him a new place. We think it was, scamming. What we realized, which is why you see here from 2001 to 2006, is that he never stopped running that payroll company. Now, in some scamation of a way, because he wasn't no physical location, he wasn't. VellB didn't see nothing occurring because they was dating at the time. He didn't see nothing occurring that made him think he was running a business. We moved in with him for 2 weeks. He wasn't running nobody's payroll. So he got some kind of scam going with that. And it's most likely to get people personal information. Probably he got them apartments and all that stuff and all that. So anyway, moving on to the next part of this. And so we got receipts because who's that? Deplorable Malcolm said not one single allegation was founded. Not one. Well, that's why I included, VellB. I ain't trying to take your credit. That's why VellB included in this trailer. Again, entertaining but informative at the same time. We're going to always provide those receipts. That's why he put the receipts in here with it. So as you see here, it's Deluxe Payroll, which was actually the name of the company that Darius Crooks created. The address that you see down there is small. I know it's small on the screen, but trust me, you can see it, enlarge it, screenshot it and enlarge it if you that doubtful. The address you see down here is 50, it's barely hard for me to see it, but 50-something West Lake Street in Chicago. That address is where Darius lived. That was his apartment. That wasn't the one I just told you got kicked out of. That was a different apartment. The apartment he got kicked out of, the first one at least, was on Huron. That's when VellB first met him. That's when we first met him. He lived on Huron. This one was on Lake Street. This was the apartment that he was living in when VellB got tired of his narcissistic behaviors, and he started to notice this dude is locked in on himself, and that's all that mattered to him. But he feeds off of people. And he was feeding off VellB, but he was never able to give support, emotionally or otherwise. So VellB cut him loose. And so this is where he was when VellB cut him loose. So that's, receipt of word. So we got a company, and this was Googled. You can still Google it. Well, I don't know if he removed it by now because he probably been seeing this floating around the internet. Too late, though. We already got it. And that phone number there, that was his phone number back then in the day, too, just so you know. What Malcolm say? Not one single allegation is founded. We on the first allegation, and it looks pretty found to me. I think I see it. Do y'all see it? If you see it, put see it in the chat. And then let me give you the second part of this receipt. The second part of the receipt within this trailer is Darius T. Williams, which is his legal name. It's his own resume. His own resume, as you see, where it's circled. His name covered up by the Reality Chronicles logo. Make sure to subscribe over there if you ain't subscribed over there, because this is what his content gonna be in a few weeks. Only, exclusively on the Reality Chronicles channel. But anyway, as you see on his very own resume, he lists Deluxe Payroll Services, and he listed from August of 2001, which is when VellB was around and he was creating the company, all the way to March of 2006, which tells us he was still running the fraudulent company behind the scenes. I don't think, people make up dates now. I'm aware of that. But in this case, because he was never quite broke again after he got his other apartment, he would get kicked out, but he was just bad with money. But he was never really broke. They'll think, he was finagling. I think he's getting people, this part of speculation, but he's saying the bit. I mean, this is his resume. It ain't mine. I ain't making it up. He's saying he worked there or had that company from 2001 to 2006. So anyway, next one. Cupcake Gallery. Now, we talked a lot about a Cupcake Gallery. I mean, there's so much to talk about with the Cupcake Gallery. Thank you guys for letting me know y'all can see Queen K and Michelle and Deborah, Explorer. Y'all see, we found it, Malcolm. This unfounded stuff, we're finding it. Well, it's been found. We're showing it. The Cupcake Gallery. So the Cupcake Gallery investor scam, 60 plus victims. So we got videos out on this. Did I put I'll put that in this chat now. So for those of you who may be a little newer to this all this information, just to let you know, put this in the chat. There's a whole playlist on this stuff that breaks this stuff down even more. And there's the link. So after this live, you can go on and check that out if you want to, and see for yourself the breakdown of these scams. So the Cupcake Gallery, he has 60 plus investors. They invested, I think it was $2,000 per 1%. So if they wanted 1%, they put $2,000. They want 2% investment in the company, they put $4,000, etc. So on. The thing was, they were supposed to get profit share. So every month they were supposed to get a percentage of the revenue every month. Well, a couple of them saw some pieces, some didn't see any. It was just a mess. So basically a bunch of people got cheated. No one got all their money back, including one of VellB's best friends. And so what he did to cheat the investors out of the money, for one, I don't think the business was making money for real anyway. That's part of it. We learned this later. That was part of it. The business wasn't really making the money. The other part of it was, in order to cheat the investors, he created a different business within the Cupcake Gallery called Uptown Pie. And Uptown Pie, he created to be able to, and he was selling pies in the same business, and told the investors, well, that's a whole separate company, so I don't have to give you the profits from the pies, only the cupcakes. And then he was saying the cupcakes wasn't really selling, so then he wasn't really paying them the money. He ended up eventually skipping town and all of that, and they said even the way he set up the investment thing, because they were supposed to be part owners based on however much they paid, 1% ownership per $2,000. Well, that was supposed to be filed with the state of Illinois to be legal. And he never did that. So it was made it a fraudulent investment automatically, because it wasn't what he told them it would be, and there were contracts involved. That's a whole nother thing. But he got away with it. Again, everybody, why he ain't in jail? Well, statute of limitation. People didn't know where he was. A lot of these people, like, they just kind of gave up on it. All kind of stuff. When they were really, hot and heavy about it and had banded together. Darius Crooks had ran off to New York. We didn't know it at the time, and they couldn't find him. Then finally, when he popped back up on social media and stuff, I'm sure he was doing somebody. Actually, I got some comments. Yeah, I ran into some new comments today. It was a lady saying that he cheated her friend out of she was one of the investors, and when she was on him, his D-hags started to attack her, and so much so that she said 2 of them actually came to her job and came to her car and threatened her and all of that. This stuff been going on a long time, y'all, long time. So okay, and that's the Cupcake Gallery. That's literally how it looked when he first opened it. So when he first opened it, he had the banner up there, and he had that little sign out there. You even see the little wall partition, the foldable wall partition. That's before he had VellB build a wall where he got over on his friend with that. And that was starting to be the demise of their friendship, because VellB started to realize how cutthroat he was when it came to business. And Darius Crooks used to repeat to him. Started around this time. He never said it prior to this, but right at this time is when the things started getting a little shaky. And he told Vell that it was what did he say? It's business, it's not personal. So that was his way of defending. And VellB was always you like a brother, it's personal and then business. So you're gonna have more leverage because it's personal. Darius Crooks, like, when it comes to business, I will cut you at the jugular, because all I care about is money. So that's when he started scamming. That's when he made it official. He had I guess, officially signed the deal with the devil. Oh, that's me. Then you got the lunch machine. We'll talk about this later. I ain't gonna drag this out, this part of it, because there's a whole video coming on the lunch machine breakdown. There's the business that VellB went into with Darius Crooks and Darius Crooks' best friend from high school. That's the business that Darius ended up stealing this truck from his friends, selling it. They bought it for $6,000. He sold it for $12,000. They stole it from up under them. Sold it from up under them. They didn't even know he sold it. On top of the truck just disappeared. On top of that, they didn't get none of the profits from it, and they owned it legally through the business. And then, you know, all the money from the bank accounts, he forged their names and took the money out the accounts, all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I'll talk about that later, because VellB putting all the pieces together. You know how he likes stuff to be approached. So what you see here is what Scampa probably thought VellB didn't have no more. Yeah, you keep them receipts, don't you? You keep those receipts. Yeah. We laugh about this sometimes. I had to see, because we've been watching Scampa talking online, lying about the situation, the story about the lunch machine, trying to make it like the guy that VellB and his other friend were just dummies and had a bad contract, and that they were trying to get him, and he got over on them. He beat them to the punch. No, he's a scammer and a sociopath, so he was already just paranoid. They wasn't after him. They were just trying to be fair business partners. But long story short, VellB got his attorney involved, and his attorney sent a letter to Darius Crooks. This is way back in 2011. You see, the date is June 18 of 2011. Yes, those receipts go back that far. We don't play over here. So why Crooks, aka Scampa, on his IG live, probably on live now. Wait, ain't you around this time? You're on live now, lying, recreating the narrative, as it say. VellB got the actual contracts and the letters from the attorneys, breaking it down, saying, dude, you're a liar. Dude, you broke the terms of the contract. Darius Crooks ignored all this. The attorney that VellB had at the time wasn't a litigator. So they end up having to get, they consulted, VellB and the other business partner, consulted with another attorney who was a litigator. The guy's like, your case is a sealed deal. You got this on lock. Y'all gonna win, no question. He said, but they got a $3,000 retainer. And he said, I'm honestly gonna advise you that you may be wasting your money, because what you're describing is a scammer. You're describing a scammer. This scammer is obviously broke. And at the time, Darius had then disappeared as well. That's when he ran off to New York, talking about he was going to get Philly cheesesteaks, then packed all his stuff, everything he could fit in his car, to go on vacation to Philly to get a cheesesteak, end up in New York, and moved there permanently, never came back to Chicago for years. What kind of sense that make? You liar! So the attorney was like, you know, obviously, he's an experienced attorney. He's like, they had lunch with him and stuff. They sat down. And the guy just broke it down, and he was like, I don't want to just take y'all money. I'm explaining to y'all what would happen. And he's like, y'all would win. That wouldn't be the issue. But he obviously broke because he's scamming y'all. He was scamming these 60+ investors at that time. I don't know if we had learned about the Fresco scam yet. But anyway, it was clear that he was a grifter. It was clear that he was scamming all over the place. And he was like, on top of that, he filed bankruptcy and all these other things. Y'all ain't going to get y'all money. So they decided to let it go and let God. And God is doing his thing now. It took some years, took a decade or so. But God is clearly, because this man ain't got no peace. He got money and no peace. I'd rather have my peace any day than money and no peace. So VellB, he gonna do more on this. He gonna break it down. You know, this is only one document. He only gave the one document because he like, yeah, I just give a little teaser to show how much I really got. Then you got the Fresco scam. We talked about that before. There's a video on this as well, on that link that I just put out there. And so the Fresco scam was a grocery delivery business. That's again, you know, VellB put the dates down there. 2011 to 2012. That was how long that grift lasted. 250 plus victims. We just know this because based on the receipts we got from back then, people were saying it was well over 200 people. There was all kind of people commenting all on social media and then on the business page, etc. Talking about how they have been scammed, the charges they had onto their credit cards. So this is the website. We got the website. So again, there's Crooks. You know what you do in the dark will come to light. And here's the light. This is literally the website that Darius Crooks had that he pulled down, but the internets never forget. And so I literally could still go to the website because there's a secret way to be able to do that that I've been made aware of. There's some great people in the coalition who was doing some great work. So anyway, we got to the original website and was able to pull up. This is what it looked like. This Darius created all this. Literally, when you read through the descriptions and the blog and all of the bios and all, it's his writing. It is clearly Darius Crooks. It's his writing style. And he designs his own logo. So they always a little cheesy. So he designed the logo. He's always been good at that too. He did his Cupcake Gallery logo and all that. The Darius Crooks TV. Now what he does is clip art off of Google and then he enhances it in some way. But yeah, he does his own logos. So yeah, this is the homepage. And then I do a little click through just real quick in the video. I couldn't go real in depth for the timing of the trailer. I'm sorry, VellNito. He couldn't, well, I helped him a little bit. So sometimes I say me because I threw little pieces in here, little ideas here and there. But anyway, we couldn't just have it go through all the whole website because of the timing of the video. So it did a little quick flash showing you a couple little clicks. Look at them clicks. Click, click, click on that fraudulent website. So Darius Crooks was using that website. People was going on there thinking they ordering groceries and putting their credit card information on there. He charging them $89, $91.22, $99.03, just charging them all kind of crazy fees and double charging some of them people and never delivering them groceries. Now, a couple people said they got some stuff at their doorstep, but, it'd be incomplete orders and stuff. So what it looked like is that he was actually going to the grocery store and picking up some of their groceries, which is what you do with a Ponzi scheme. So they look like some people still say, I got my groceries, that kind of stuff. Like what happens with the DHags right now. That's what's happening. It's always somebody, I done got every order I place. That's part of a Ponzi scheme. They're going to always have some people that's satisfied to keep the grift going because some people going to believe the people who are satisfied versus the hundreds that got scammed. Same thing was happening with Freshco. So long story short, by the time that grift, he got caught up with that, was everything started to come down on him. That's when he ran off, disappeared. Again, we covered that in the video. We'll probably we'll redo it because, we just got to keep getting this information on out. And sometimes I end up with more. Like, actually, I got more receipts for a lot of this anyway. That like newer receipts, as if what we had wasn't enough. But anyway, it's getting a little late. I think I'm gonna skip Uptown Pass. I kind of just described that a little bit. Oh, but you do see the newer awning. So you see the Cupcake Gallery went from that banner up there to an awning, and then Uptown Pies was a company he created to scam the Cupcake Gallery investors to steal their money and make it look legal, like money laundering. Then you got the Groupon scam, which was actually related to the Cupcake scam. He started doing that when he had the Cupcake Gallery in Uptown Pies, where he was actually, people would buy the Groupons online. Y'all know how Groupon work. Buy the Groupon, they supposed to get a dozen cupcakes. He was talking like $60 for a dozen cupcakes back in 2009, which was ridiculous. But butter cakes. So he was charging that for butter cakes, and people would get there and say, hey, these $60 butter cakes, a dozen of them, I got me a Groupon. Now I paid $30. Can I get my dozen butter cakes? And he then be like, that code don't work. I don't know. Groupon to mess you up. I don't have no record of that. Well, he did that so many times, people started complaining online. And then got so bad, Groupon dropped them. They like, Ninja, if you don't quit using our name in vain. And so they dropped him. He did later get Groupon again with the restaurants, with the Soul Crab, Chicago, Soul Crab. I don't know about Green's Great, but Soul Crab, Atlanta for sure, because I got some receipts on people complaining about that. And also credit card scamming with the restaurants. That's a whole nother story. We talked about that too. Got some proof of that too. So people was complaining even with that he ended up doing that same scam with Soul Crab Atlanta. But I guess maybe, it was a different corporation. So maybe Groupon didn't know Scampa had come back under a different company. So they let him in again. And he, it is what it is. What we got after this? I'm going to do this one. And then this is it. That me again right there. Amazon t-shirt scam. Now this one, there are some of them. I threw this in because I was like, I don't get no F's. I'm VellNito. I give no F's. VellB always want to be like, I need official receipts. He don't go on the stories. He listened to the stories, but he have to back them up with the receipts. And if you can't back it up with the receipt, he not going to tell the story. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, I'm just going to tell the story. It's up to you if you want to believe it or not. I ain't obligated to have no paper receipt to tell you the story that we heard. So the story we heard, well, it's, there's comments out there. The comments that are out there is people complaining back around the time he was in New York. Because remember, he escaped from Chicago after scamming everybody in 2012. He then goes to New York and he needs a new grift because now he's running through the money that he had stole from the people in Chicago. So then he, from what they saying, has started an Amazon t-shirt scam. Having people order these shirts on Amazon. Somehow they wasn't getting them. People complaining. I don't know. I can't even remember because it was long ago I read all those comments. But he was scamming people so much on Amazon that Amazon dropped them. So if you wonder why a person at this level that he supposedly is at won't use a distributor like Amazon and save himself some of the drama of all these missing orders and broken stuff and the reason he ain't doing that is because he can't. They won't deal with him because he's a scamper. He's been running these scampires for years. Eventbrite is another one that won't deal with him no more. We just noticed a comment somebody I saw randomly. He's got to find a new payment system. He's for his adult toy line. He's saying that they won't work with Shopify. Shopify won't work with adult toy lines. I don't know how true that is. Probably another lie, but I don't know for sure. But he's saying he got to find a new payment. He gonna use I forgot which. He uses somebody else, some random bank or something. And people have been asking, well, why don't you just use PayPal? And he like, nah, I'm using PayPal. I don't mess with them. Well, PayPal is a good place to work with for that. Like they're great for the customer part of it. They pay the businesses and stuff. I mean, PayPal ain't no scam pile like, Darius Crooks LLC. So why wouldn't you work with them? Well, maybe if you can't, because you done scammed on there too, and they won't accept you no more. It ain't that you don't want to, it's that you can't work with PayPal because you done scammed with them. Just like you can't work with it. You would think a person who has events across the country, these dining with diarrhea events all over the country, you would think that they would say, I'm going to use Eventbrite. It's very convenient. If I need to change stuff, people want to switch tickets, they want a refund, Very easy on Eventbrite. It's a platform built for that kind of stuff. He not using it because he used to use it and he scammed on it. Ended up with dining with Darius events, dining with diarrhea events. Used it and scammed with it when it had events. Don't get me. Don't hold me to the year, but I think it was 2016, 2017. He was having those events. He had a mental health crises. He has those when he don't feel like working or get caught up with some stuff. So he claims that he had a mental health crisis. He canceled a bunch of events. What it really was, we realized later, it was when he was scamming Nadia, the Spunky Brewster. I gave y'all that story of the one he hired to supposedly book as his administrator, book his Airbnbs. He tricks her into doing it under her name. She realized he's a scammer and he's horrible to people. She quits. She then closes her account. So now he can't get access to the Airbnbs no more because he's been kicked off that platform for destroying those people's homes. And so he has no choice but to cancel those events. And he's stressed out about it too. So he cancels a ton of events. The dining with diarrhea events don't refund nobody money because he already spent it on cars and down payments on houses. Because that's what a grifter does. Like he makes this lump sum of money, he always has a plan to something he's putting a lump sum of money down on. We even got text messages where he's saying he was trying to buy his house in Houston. He texting back and forth with his realtor. He said, you know what, hold on shopping for this house. Give me a couple months. I'm about to start this pound cake business, and I'm gonna make this money real quick so I can go ahead and just pay cash for this next house. He grift like that. So anyway, he did that, end up owing Eventbrite because they're a legitimate company, end up refunding all the DHAGs, all their money, the people who got duped. It amounted to, and this was heard from a source that was an employee of Darius Crooks. They didn't think at the time that they should be making a copy of the document or taking a picture of it. They didn't know stuff was at this level either. But the story that I heard from a reliable source is that they were the ones who received the $90,000 complaint from, and they were in charge of things. So they opened it. They opened the mail, and it was Eventbrite going after him for $90,000 for them having to $90,000 for them having to refund all those people for the dining with diarrhea events. So that's why he don't use Eventbrite no more. That's why he handling it himself, and it's a chaotic scam pile of a mess right now. Anyway, I've talked too long. I've held y'all too long, as usual. I just get to ramble y'all. I could go on and on and on. I swear, I had to probably go on over to VellNito probably be more honest on Patreon. Be more open. So you're gonna talk to Patreon. Okay. So VellNito saying that he'll talk to Patreon about some of this stuff. He hasn't really talked about this stuff, and really in a deep way on Patreon, but I'm teaching him how to give zero fucks. I'm sorry. I forgot I'm on YouTube. 0 Fs. I'm teaching him how to give 0 Fs. And so like we said, ask and you shall receive. This is what Darius Crooks asked for. He like with Zelle, with a expose. We expose Zayn over here now. And we've been doing it for the past couple of weeks since you requested it, and we got a lot longer to go. You're welcome, Scampa. All right, so I'm gonna do a couple of quick comments because I know I see y'all going in these comments. Oh, okay, we got something that start. Let's see. I'm just trying to get to okay, maybe I think I lost my moderators. I think they stopped starring stuff. They like y'all can help VellNito out too. Y'all, I didn't know y'all was just working with VellB. You ain't tell me the moderators was only working with you. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the live comments and see what's happening. Okay. VellNito. Oh, let me move this, y'all. Let me move. Hold on. What am I in? I'm gonna take that down. Okay, there we go. What was I reading? VellNito, you was lit up tonight. Thank you, Stephanie Speaks. I appreciate that. Hey, we just gotta tell the truth. Because we still got people like Deplorable Malcolm over here talking about not one single allegation was founded. What the hell are he talking about? All this evidence we got over, well, all across the internet. It ain't just over here. It's all across the internet. That's what it's called. Let me see. I don't know what we was talking about right then. Let's see. I'm just trying to see y'all talking amongst yourselves. You gotta own. Y'all be having a show within a show. DeVell told me that, and we enjoy it. I had watched it for the first time the other day after the live, and I love it. Love the show within the show in the chat show. So VellB told me about that. Pressure G say scam people and have surgery. Yeah, so his scam, and then he the money for the teeth, the chiclet teeth, get the money for the house, get the money for the roach body mommy makeover, getting the money. That way he gonna look like when he get life. Rest of scam pop. How you look like a character from a movie who's supposed to be about 80 years old, and y'all looking like twins in this side by side? What? Milk dud head scammer. So yeah, let's see. Look just like Martin. Yeah, Martin Lawrence is wasn't he about 80 years old in the movie at that point? How you looking like the man with with makeup and a mask on with prosthetics, and y'all looking like twins? You're looking like a character. All right. Well, it look like the comment. It's probably been some other stuff, but I don't see nothing this. Yeah, I slipped. I tell you, you see where I'm from. You see my neighborhood. I mean, this old YouTube stuff where you got to be watching your every other word and all that stuff. That I ain't come from that land, but I'm gonna get better. I apologize to y'all that language was a little too harsh for y'all. Like VellB though, well, he curses when he get passionate. I just kind of curse just to express myself. But if he get real passionate, some words will slip out here or there. Other than that, he don't really curse a ton. He don't have to curse a ton. Let's see. Hey, VellNito, did Vell give you that super chat money that was only for you? Huh? Did you see this comment that all right. All right. We ain't finna have no stuff like this Darius Crooks thing. Hey, you there? He's saying that that money come on the 21st of the month. So you gave it now. He don't see that money till May 21st. Then he'll split it with you then. So, but thank you for your donation. Also, there's a great comment anyway. Really, the best thing that any of my diehard followers could do is use the Cash App, because with those super chats through YouTube, they take 40%. Is it 40? 30? He thinks it's 30 something percent, almost 40% of that. So he only see a part of that. Whereas if you Cash App, he get the whole thing. So that whole thing for Cash App is right there. Just in case you want to use that. So he been forgetting to say that. I know some YouTubers do remember to say that. Let's see. And the comments are blocked by it. You need to redo this so it's like in a different corner or something, so it ain't covered up by the comments. Just give him mental notes. He over there taking his notes. He liked to note everything anyway. VellNito gets a custom pass per visit. Okay, I got one per. Okay, so I think I did okay. I think that was only one time. Scam pie, you go eat your cornbread live. All right, I think let's see. I love the bluntness of VellNito. Yeah, I mean, I come from keep it real. We ain't got a lot of kick it. What? Right. Okay, so with that, I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer. We done hit the 3-hour mark. Thank all y'all for hanging out with us once again. VellB will definitely be back on Tuesday. We're gonna talk about my schedule and all that, and I'm gonna see what's happening. But like I said, in May, once we get monetized over there on the Reality Chronicles channel, I will be only on that channel. He don't want me over here. He feel like I'm a little bit of adding a little chaos to the channel, and he don't like no chaos on his channel. So, but with that, I thank all of y'all. Thank you for everyone who sent the super chat. Thank you to the moderators, Marianne and Alice and Precious G. And I don't think I saw Trikeisha tonight, but all my faves and everyone, and we love y'all, the Donna Hammonds and all of that. We love all y'all. It's too many of the name. Don't get offended if I ain't said your name. I'm learning the name still too. But anyway, I'm gonna send y'all out with this trailer, and until what, Tuesday? Till Tuesday. I see y'all later. All right.
With my eyes closed, it's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still trying to fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Make me put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like Kima. Ain't give a F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on the brand new Beamer. Trying to earn 8 stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a Keto. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque o no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood. I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Y'all just talk, don't live it. And just took that route, that seen it. I'm so outspoken like Reason. Jimmy Neutron, boy, Young G's. And I'm a self-made man.